left off.
Yeah.
New intro. Who this? Ooh.
I ain't gonna lie, that boy.
Oh,
That boy is
we got
nice.
Drew in the intro now. Mr. Drew better. You do better. You do. Oh. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that picture of Drew from?
Hey, I will say this.
Where did you get that picture?
You gotta get a
Hey,
photo for you, Jay.
Hey.
That was like the worst photo of you. That wasn't the smoothest photo.
That was a solid photo of him.
He's got
Now
to
you
get Miami Joe out there.
Yeah, Joe promoting the merch. You ain't see that merch in the intro?
I mean, speaking of merch,
there.
pass me that hoodie over there.
Hey, I'm getting that black. I told him I'm taking that black
with
one
a
off.
hoodie?
We got can we promote
Not right
the
now.
hoodie?
Not right now.
We're
working
on
it.
it.
We got it coming. We got it coming. But so
Heard about Ashton.
you gonna owe me a steak dinner?
I'm not owing you a dang
You
thing.
already owe me a steak dinner.
Why you owe him a steak dinner?
Oh, we made a little bet on
he
morning
wanna do
breeze.
a-
I actually brought up
He
the
want to
bet.
do a steak dinner.
I said, who's going to go at number 10?
Yeah.
I picked Will Campbell now that he has 33-inch arms.
How does he grow?
He picks Mason Graham.
How did his entry?
I don't
Hey, well.
Pause.
How does he grow?
Nation, what's good? Back at it again. We got the squad in the building.
Yeah.
As always, super producer Joel Hope, the wildest man alive, Mr. P Kid, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. We got a lot to get into on today's episode. That's tough. We got to talk about are the Bears in or out on Ashton Jeanty? The pro day would lead you to believe that
Oh, boy.
maybe they're not that in on Ashton Jeanty here
you
coming
shut
up.
your mouth.
But we also got to talk about an interesting mock draft scenario. We talked about a lot of different situations, but the Athlon did a scenario where the Bears trade back here, pick up an extra second-round pick, and talked with I forgot the boy name, doggone it. Luke, give it a sec. Luke
Ridnour.
Easterling on that. Ridnour.
That's a name.
Pulling the old one out the hat.
You pulled that one out of the.
Wow. That's
that
right.
was tucked under the front of the beanie. Luke Easterling, we talked with him on the Chicago Bears podcast today about that scenario. So tap in with that episode as well. Go over there and show love. And also got to talk about, bro, it's so big of a story. We got to talk about it. The LeBron versus Stephen A. Joint. What was that?
Do we have to?
What was that?
Exasperation.
Jordan sounded like the lion.
Bro, it's always got to be in the forefront of our
minds.
minds.
All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. If you're wondering why I'm not suited and booted and I'm in White Sox gear, this is a White Sox jersey, by the way. Not White Sox jersey. Dick Butkish jersey.
That's nice.
Sure.
It's because
they won.
if your team is 1-0 on the season, put your hand up. Oh, is that no?
You know, that reminds me.
Didn't get a win?
That reminds me of
It's all right.
everybody was like,
It's okay.
oh,
0-2 in Japan.
the Bears are 1-0 in 2025. Look at the Packers. It's like we still didn't make it nowhere. Like you ain't going nowhere, my G. That team
This
sucks.
is his only
That team
time
is
he
about
can
to be
brag.
trash.
Let him brag. Let him brag.
Hey, it's 162 games. You gonna win 30 of them.
He got 29 more wins.
First off,
I don't even watch
who
baseball.
are you a fan of? You a Yankees,
Yankees
fan? You a Cubs fan?
Absolutely.
You came in in a
Absolutely.
Giants jersey. We don't know who you a fan
First of all,
of.
I buy fly stuff. That's all it is. It's a
Let's
fly
move on.
jacket.
Actually, wait, real quick. We need to shout out
Breeze Nation in the
man.
building. Who was first in the building?
Crimson was
Crimson in the building.
number one. And shout out to Noah P, DeVell Scott, Roddy B, J Real, Roddy Blazing
Nugs.
Got it.
Blazing Nugs. Shout out to Blazing
Blazing
Nugs. He
Nugs.
been rocking with us.
Corey
Yes, sir.
Swope, Jimmy Hoffa, Murderville Beats in the building, Bob Chimney, King Booker World Antonio, just to name a few.
Booker.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in with us.
Appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. Let's get into this episode, man, because I think this is as much talk has been around Jeanty. Right? There's some Jeanty lovers in here. There's a group of y'all.
Why you talking about me and that man got an A's hat on?
I don't have an A's hat on.
I mean Atlanta hat on.
I mean,
It's
I was gonna
Atlanta
say.
hat because
I couldn't see it. I just saw it.
Because if you from the city, then you know you rock the cap with your initial on it, bro. A, it is. It's always A's down.
I forgot your name is Andrew.
Hey, in your mind, you like Drew.
I'm like, where's your Detroit hat
got
at
lost
there,
for a second.
dog?
Roll the credits
get
on
lost
you.
for a
Roll the
second.
credits on him, Joe.
I'm sorry. Don't nobody know your real name.
I mean, it's not that far of a leap for Drew to Andrew, dog.
I mean, it makes sense.
feel like you got lost on that one.
That's hilarious.
But
roll the
rolling
credits on him.
here?
Roll the credits on him.
Oh, dang it. Oh, those are kids' credits. There's a
I
lot
started
of-
this to
a
show
lot of
off hot.
credits to
Started
Joel
the show
here.
off hot. Yeah.
But no, man. The Chicago Bears, as much talk has been around Ashton Jeanty and the Bears being in on Ashton Jeanty and how there's a belief that they're going to take him here at 10 if they can go out there and get him. They ain't send nobody, dog. It's a lot.
You don't know that.
No, actually, we do. From what we've heard, reports-wise, they sent one scout to take a look at him.
I was there.
And yeah, you were grilling steaks in
Was
the
in my hoodie
background
with the glasses on.
Oh,
there
boy.
goes the 10th pick.
Yeah, what car does he drive?
I don't know.
But no, I think that the conversation around it is, are the Bears as in on Ashton Jeanty, or do they know something, right? Do they know that the Raiders are in? Do they know that the Saints are in, which would be interesting with no quarterback? Do you know that the Patriots are in, right? Is there a reason that they weren't represented well there? Now, he does have a pro day here in Chicago. I do want to put that out there as well. He is scheduled to have a top 30 visit. Sorry, not a pro day, a top 30 visit here in Chicago. But the fact that Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, for what is seen to be in many fans' minds, the biggest guy that you can go out there and get, weren't present for the Ashton Jeanty Pro Day, I think is a little bit suspicious, at least to say, in my mind. And we'll get to that later. And Eric Bieniemy didn't show up. You sent the scout, but you didn't even send the running backs coach who just went to the Texas Pro Day.
Oh.
And maybe he's still down there getting the running back that he's looking for there. Hey, was it weird to anybody else or just me? Am I the only one that's like, that's a little interesting with how the Bears usually show
I
up?
like what Tim Evans says, called misdirection. That was my initial thought. Maybe they don't want to tip their hat, tip their hand.
That's exactly what I like to think. A little smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. You want Jeanty not to be irrelevant.
Well, no,
not to be relevant.
It's not about, listen, the Bears are going to do what they're going to do. My opinion
That's
don't
right.
matter. I don't want the Bears to draft a punter in the 4th round. Guess what we got?
Talking about
know what I mean?
goddamn
Like-
Tory Taylor.
Yeah, he's
Free
not
Tory Taylor, brother.
Oh, he's shucking and jabbing.
But I think that it comes down to what is the value or the big board chart. Like, what is the drop off between, say, if Will Campbell's there 10,
Yeah.
all right, or
This camera look good.
if Will Campbell's there at 10, or let's say he is gone, and Genty's there, how close to Will Campbell is it that Ariante, Ursery,
That's probably second round.
that's what I'm saying. In the second round,
Yes,
can
yeah,
we
yeah.
get a
Oh,
quality starter?
you're saying, can we get a starter?
Can we
in the-
still
yes,
get a
yeah.
quality starter that actually starts left tackle in the
tackle.
second round? So I'm
Yeah.
fine if they go running back and then they get a starter at the left tackle. I'm also fine if they go Will Campbell and then maybe it's Quinshon Judkins or somebody like
Boy,
that.
we gotta
Trevion
work on
over
some-
here.
we gotta
I'm
work
just
on
saying
these
if it's-
names. We gotta prepare our kids for success here.
I'm just saying that, I'm not sure
Better
how
than the
close to the
Jaquindon.
talent bar is
Oh,
it that with those guys. So I'm fine if we take Will Campbell 10.
Quick question: did anybody else have a pro day today?
Yeah,
today?
well, this wasn't today. This was when Ohio State had their pro day, which was Monday, I believe it was.
Because on Monday, Colorado had their pro day, I believe, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that the Bears are in on anybody from Colorado, but I'm just saying who else was there? Because we know Ashton is coming to Chicago. And I've heard and we've seen teams not prioritize going to the initial one if they have that player coming to their city. So it's like, who else was scheduled that day, and
Well,
where
I
else
think-
could they have been?
I think there's the thing.
That's what I look at.
Not if you're all in on a player.
Yeah.
He
They-
been,
they may know
he
he's
been
that guy.
gallivanting around Chicago with Caleb.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
need
about
to
to
see him
say, yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Like, he ain't, like, what are we gonna do?
But even so, usually if you're all in on a player, right? We talk about misdirection, right? I think a lot of us were, I don't know if I'd say surprised, but we thought the Bears may go a different direction when they took Rome Odunze 9. Rome was on the list, but it was like maybe they go Jared Verse, maybe they go here, maybe they go there. But they were at Rome Odunze's pro day in droves. They were at Caleb Williams. Well, I mean, number one overall pick, it makes sense. But,
you would
but
take
even
the
so,
guy.
you're still talking about a top 10 pick here. I would think that you would be, if you're all in on a guy, right? And that's kind of the point of this. Are the Bears really all in on Ashton Jeanty? I'm not telling you that they're out on Ashton Jeanty, but one scout is crazy. Like that's surprisingly minimal representation for a pro day for a player if you're interested. You send one scout to the dude that you thinking about taking in the third round.
But here's my question: Would there be a chance that they already sent people during the season to see Ashton Jeanty, and they already got eyes on him? They've evaluated him to the T, where it's like, okay, you don't need to do a deep dive into this guy right now.
So.
So that's my thing. Is it's not like the first time they've had eyes on him. You literally just ran for 2,600 total purpose yards.
But again, to that same point, it wasn't the first time they saw Rome. They were at his pro day.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the first time they had seen Caleb. They brought the whole team. They brought George to the pro day.
Well,
DJ Moore showed up to the pro day.
DJ Moore did show up. Keenan Allen showed up too. Like comparatively, also
There were players at his pro day.
the previous regime. What did Ryan Pace do when it came to Mitch Trubisky? Nobody knew he was going to be picking him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think there's a maybe there's a back and forth. Obviously, biasly, I would want it to believe that it's misdirection. That they're like, oh, we don't really want this guy, but come draft day number 10, the Bears select Ashton Jeanty. I believe he's still an option. But if you're talking about the update on Will Campbell, and now he's got 33-inch arms, and you could address left tackle right
Still
there.
need to understand this.
Look,
They say he make
it was 32 and 5/8.
It was
then
32.
it just grew a 3
guys. Joe just redid
No.
the entire
They
house.
said it was 30.
No, it was 32 and 3/8. He got short arms though. He does have short arms. They look short. We talked about it this morning.
He has longer arms but a shorter
He
wingspan.
got no elbows. I don't know what's going on. But I also think people can't do math. It could be he got one arm longer than the other. John Morant got that.
John Morant.
John Morant left arm is longer than his right
Way
arm.
longer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's like
it's noticeable.
Real quick, we had a super chat from J Real 24711. Shout out to our guy. Said Bears with reverse psychology. Appreciate you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
all these people at the Texas Pro Day.
Hey, is that my guy Jay? What's up, Jay?
right,
I think that is Jay. Shout out to you, Jay.
is that my guy Jay? That was so very loosely descriptive. Drew, what's your thoughts on the whole Jeanty situation? Do you think the Bears are in or out?
I'm actually think that they are preparing for the Raiders to snatch him a little bit earlier.
I can see it.
And so they're like, why waste the
possibility.
trip if more than likely, like we like the guy and he fits. He fits the optimum back. But if they're not going to get him, like, okay, we'll send one scout to already reaffirm what we already know about the guy.
Ooh, that's super chat from KD, $1.99. He said, OSU has 8 prospects that'll go early. Boise has 1. That's actually a pretty good point. Like, you're not bringing a whole bunch of scouts to watch one guy. I mean, that kind of
Another
makes
good point.
sense,
Because how many did they bring to Texas? Texas got like 10 people that goes in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, you got a school full
mean,
of
you
guys
brought-
to check out.
You brought Ryan, you brought everybody.
and Bieniemy.
Oh, there was only 2.
As far as that was
I thought it
reported,
was more.
as
Okay,
far as that was
okay.
reported, I'm not
Okay.
telling you there weren't more, but from
Okay.
what I saw, you brought Ryan Poles and Eric Bieniemy. But again, right, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson
Yeah.
go to OSU. There's one dude that's going to be working with the running backs every day. Was he
Eric
with
not
Swift? He was
Well,
with,
they
he,
tr- maybe
he
they
was doing
trust
it.
the
He was
scouts.
clearly at Hallis because he did the interview. Although it could have been done previous days, I'm not. But he did the interview with Jeff Joniak. I don't know if that same day there, but it came out on a similar day. I wonder if, and I think this is the point of it, right? If Eric Bieniemy is showing up, we know there's something interesting about the running back or somebody on the offensive side at Texas.
But why would they
There's
wanna,
somebody that he wants to see with his own eyes.
Why would they want to tip their hand? If they're going to telegraph their moves.
But my boy, at the end of the day,
He still got to come to the city.
he's got to get to 10.
He got to come to the city.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, he's got to get to 10. I don't think you're tipping your hand if you say we want Ashton Jeanty with number one, how many running backs are in the draft, and 2, if it's never going to get to you, if it's never going to get to your pick.
Right. It may not matter.
It may not matter at the end of the day.
Like,
So I don't
look,
think you're in
they
any
probably-
way tipping your hand by scouting a player.
And a lot of them know what the order is.
Is there a
All
good
of them
running
pretty
back
much
there in
know what the
Texas?
order is.
You feel confident. in it.
Jaden Blue.
But you know what? I do
Where's he-
see
where's
over
he
100 in
slated
the
to
chat,
go?
by the way.
Well,
Over 100 in the chat.
to answer your question,
Hey man, hit
He's
that
a
like button,
third round
subscribe
pick.
to the page, leave a 5-star
Yeah,
review. Y'all know what to
exactly.
do.
He's later rounds, but he ran a 4.26.
4.26, yeah.
So he's potential 4th round guy.
Third round probably. He probably a third round pick.
I mean, let's be
Jaden
for real.
Blue.
With someone of his caliber, Ashton speaking, what are you going to really look at that the tape didn't show you already? Like, he has to come to Chicago.
I think about
You know,
that.
he has to come to Chicago. You already going to see him.
Right.
The stuff that you would do in evaluating him, you're going to get up close and personal with him. You don't need to be there.
I get that argument,
Yeah.
but they were wrong.
Rome,
I get that argument.
if I could say that, I
Rome
think
is
Rome
one pick ahead of Jeanty.
But I think
No, I'm
everybody
saying
was-
Rome was a
Oh, as
reach.
far as
though.
9, yeah.
Rome wasn't a reach.
Many people would argue that we didn't need to get
No,
Rome.
you may argue that
I
Rome
agree.
didn't get
luxury.
I agree
Rome,
with
but
that.
Rome
Rome
wasn't a
luxury.
reach.
but he
I
wasn't
don't
a
think-
reach. Rome was a top 10 pick.
I mean,
talent
top
level?
10
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but it was like,
it wasn't a reach. It was just the Bears probably needed to go in the trenches,
Yeah.
which is why we're here.
Right. The whole thing was either verse or an offensive lineman. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a surprise to take Rome.
Yeah.
I think, but whether if they believe that he may not
Let's
even
get over
be there
100
at
likes
10,
on the video, y'all.
if he may not even be there at 10, it's fine. But if he gets to 10, I'm not mad if we take him. But as long as I get my left tackle
Your
in the
people
second round.
mover.
But my thing is we have to trust the scouting. We have to see what they're doing. I don't know how much with Ben Johnson. I mean, I'm proud to see that this line was improved the way that it is.
Yeah.
Because to your point, see, now they can go for a move like this. The interior line has just been improved tremendously.
you know
so
what
now
he
you
gonna
could
do.
actually get her. Now, if Saquon was free, we could have signed Saquon because now you got extra line. No. But
Now-
the whole
yeah.
point is that,
now you can do it.
now you could do this versus whatever we
Now
the
you can
Swiss-
draft your punter.
I'll say this. There's got a long snapper in the second. I'm
Late.
intrigued.
Hey,
in.
listen. You know what? Just to let them know we back up.
Hey,
Get that
we back
long
up. I ain't
snapper.
gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought about this because I asked Luke Easterly today about Willie Lampkin. Tap in to see his answer.
Future fullback.
No,
Here
bro,
we
no.
go.
Sixth round.
Listen,
Here we
listen,
go.
Listen, he loved him.
Really lump lump?
He loves Willie
Like
Lampkin.
Willie
He
Lampkin?
loves Willie Lampkin. I haven't talked to a person yet that doesn't love Willie Lampkin. Willie, you in the chat? Willie! But I used to love when they did that on what was that? When
Proud
Waddle and
Family?
Sylvie? No, on Carmen and Yurko back in the day.
Willie.
Whenever what was the Willie we had here?
was it the black
defensive
dude?
end? Yeah, he was very black.
Oh, you talking about?
Hey.
That was a guy who used to call in. that
Willie-
was kinda-
Willie Young? Willie Young?
from Detroit.
When he was
Yep.
getting all them sacks in the
Yep, and he
beginning,
was doing
they
the
would just
fist
press the
thing,
button and be
yeah.
Willie.
I remember that. Yep.
But
Willie Young.
But I think the conversation. Oh, I was talking about Willie Lampkin. I had the Willie Young thing threw me off. That's the ADD right there.
The undersized line.
fullback.
I thought about him as a long snapper, bro. I was like, bro,
my
listen.
God.
I was like,
This
listen.
dude.
I can
Fullback.
use him. I can use him.
This is all over the place. Huh?
Ah! Bro, he's 270. He shouldn't be moving like that, bro. But you want to talk about the one thing that Brandon Easterly or Luke Easterly said was he said he's like, look at the arm length on that guy. If you got arm length questions, his arms are so long, like people can't touch him.
It's ridiculous.
So if he get into you, it's just
It's
like
a wrap.
you out of here.
Yeah. You free.
Anyway, but no, I think the
Is that your dark horse right there?
bro, that's
No, that's his
I'm
dark
not gonna lie
horse.
to you, bro. Like he might be a
That's
dark
his-
horse. He only 270 pounds. He shouldn't be on the offensive line.
I got you, Quindon Jackson.
Yeah, I like a Jaquindon. I like a
How
Jaquindon.
high of a reach are you willing to take on Willie Limp Lump?
It's a 6th round pick.
No,
I was
he's literally
6 or
like
7.
in the mock we went over in the morning. He was like 8 from being Mr. Irrelevant. He was in the
Yeah,
7th
yeah,
round.
yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like 8
he's
picks
a late
away.
pick, bro. You're. There's no way you take him with a real pick.
No.
That sounds crazy. There's no way you take him
With
with a
a real
high
pick.
pick.
God
a real
dang,
pick is
son.
crazy.
Wow.
A real pick is crazy.
Speaking of that, we got
Shannon Sharp in this mug.
speaking of that, we got to put out a promo. We're going to be doing a watch party, draft watch
Oh,
party.
a little draft watch party. We
look,
doing that?
Nice.
UGX Gaming.
Oh, we
Experience
doing
in
going
Orland
back
Park.
to UGX. UGX, great spot. Man.
Yeah, great spot.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to our
UGX.
guys, Aaron Wallace out there.
Oh, AWOL.
Yeah, so we're going to create
Oh,
the
white
event.
wall.
AWOL.
AWOL.
Oh,
AWOL.
White wall.
it's like white wall.
No.
You got tires?
Yeah.
See, I got these tires.
Come on out to that draft party. Come hang out. You know, we probably get it all hooked up, some food, some drinks, things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Have a good time.
Nice
We can
place.
celebrate that first round draft pick.
But no, listen, I think it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with Ashton Jeanty if he is that at the top of the draft. I think for me, Y'all know I wouldn't want to go running back, but if they went running back, I wouldn't mind how Luke Easterly did it in his mock draft. Now, he works for Athlon Sports. If y'all remember Athlon, the magazine back in the day, they used to always put out the big mock draft magazine, all of that stuff. And I thought that this was a very interesting approach to still attacking the trenches, but being able to go out there and get a running back early on. Now, in his mock draft scenario, Ashton Jeanty is gone. He is taken by the I want to say no, not the New Orleans Saints. The
Riders.
Where we at? It was the Raiders. It was the Raiders.
Only the Raiders.
Because the Raiders traded back basically and still got him. So they allowed they made a trade with New Orleans to move up. And the Raiders traded back. They take Jeanty, number 9 overall, and add some draft capital to them. At 10, with Will Campbell still on the board.
Okay. Here we go.
The Chicago Bears trade back.
That was very anticlimactic.
They trade back to 18 in this scenario because they're so distraught that they have missed out on Ashton Jeanty that they just have to have a running back in the first round. So they move back to 18 in this mock draft scenario, and they take Omarion Hampton. But in the trade, you move back to 18, pick swap, you pick up the 50th pick in the draft. And add another second round pick. So you now got 3 second rounders.
That's sexy.
If you're going to take a running back, y'all know I'm not here for a running back. Yes, but if you're going to take a running
You're
back.
warming up, though.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No,
Yeah,
he's getting little meat sweats.
No, not at all. But if you're going to take a running back, I think this scenario is interesting because then in the second round of this mock draft, he goes edge Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M.
I like that name.
Dog.
I like that name.
Defensive lineman Darius Alexander. Dog.
Okay.
And with the 50th pick overall, you pick up offensive tackle Ariante Irsay out of Minnesota.
All right.
So you got tackle, you got D-line, you got Darius Alexander's kind of like he can move all around the defense.
So he's like Deo.
He is kind of like Deo, except like every spot.
Dio,
Why don't we
on the
take
offensive
Josh Simmons at 18, and then we can get the best running back in the second?
I mean, I'm here for it, but how he when we talked to him today, how he described it was he said people are saying this like all running backs are created equal in this draft, which is my thought process.
And they're not.
And he said, listen, I think that Ashton Jeanty is in a universe of his own. I think that Omarion Hampton is in a class of his own, and then there's the rest of them.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree with that.
He said universe. He said class.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that because to me, Quinshon Judkins is a monster. To me, Travion Henderson is the best all-around back
Pass blocking.
possibly
and all
in
that
this
stuff.
draft.
Yeah.
He will take your
There's that.
soul in the pass block game.
Right.
And he ain't even been coached up on it yet. He's a workhorse. He's got great speed. He can catch the football out of the backfield. I don't know if I agree with the assessment that Omarion Hampton and Ashton Jeanty are in their own class running back wise. Maybe Jeanty. I'll give Jeanty that. I don't know if I throw Hampton in that realm, but still being able to address the running back position. The only reason that this feels okay to me is because when I look at all three of these names, Nick Scorton gets to the quarterback. Like Nick Scorton gets home.
Being the running back connoisseur that I am.
What kind of steak is a running back?
Well, Jeanty is that prime ribeye.
There we go.
So is
Medium
the
prime
bet that we don't take a running back in the first round, or that we
You
take
mean between
Jeanty?
us?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was about the players.
So who are we officially gonna draft?
Yeah.
You said Jeanty.
He picked Mason
No,
Graham.
I picked
said
Mason
Will
Graham.
Campbell.
He picked Will Campbell.
After the expert said his arms.
Ooh,
grew
how pissed
somehow.
would you be if they traded out of the Will Campbell spot?
I would be mad. That would be if he's
wait,
there.
wait.
I would be pissed.
What is the steak dinner about again?
For me, I have to
he
get
wanted
Will
to
Campbell.
pick. If the Bears
Mason
pick Will
Graham.
Campbell, I got to buy him a steak. If the Bears pick Mason
And
Graham,
if
he
it's
gotta buy
not,
me a
if it's
steak.
neither,
If it's neither,
they said we got to go to
there's
get a McRib
Salisbury
from
steak,
McDonald's.
on a bun. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not getting a McRib. I don't
good.
know about
They
that.
still make that?
yeah. Every year.
Oh, every year.
Over 200 in a check. 200.
But no, what I was going to say is I kind of disagree with you, and here's why. If Ashton Jeanty didn't have an all-world season, he has a couple good seasons, but all-world with the 2,600 yards,
His sophomore season
Omarion
was
Hampton would
pretty
be
all-world,
considered
too.
the best running back usually in every other draft.
I would agree with that.
that's why I think you still put him in a like you said, in a class of its own versus in a world of his own with Ashton. So those two guys kind of separate themselves from the other guys who can do just a little bit of everything, but not as good as those two, in my opinion. You know, Quinshon Judkins got the speed. Travion Henderson has the all-around speed and the blocking, the run blocking, pass blocking rather.
He's an all-around
isn't
back.
as fast. So there's deficiencies in
Caleb Johnson 40-time crushed your soul.
No, bro, it broke my heart because I love Caleb.
I love this dude.
Caleb. That happened to me last year. Who was the guy I liked? And then it was the guy from Notre Dame.
Like somebody and he ran
it was the guy
slow.
from Notre Dame. He ran like a 4.8. It was like,
it was like, never mind.
Wasn't he?
huh?
Wasn't he called in the league this year?
He actually
he's
got
on-
drafted.
he's on
He
Denver.
got drafted.
Who was
He's
he?
on Denver.
He was called
The guy
this year.
from-
Yeah, he
What
got
was his
drafted.
position?
He was a running
He was
back.
a running back.
He's running back.
Because I was like, he looked tough. Again, in Notre Dame, he was tough.
Denver?
And then he ran like a 4.8 or
Man,
4.7 or
yeah,
something.
nah,
it was
that-
like,
yeah,
geez.
He dropped.
just kinda-
dropped.
yeah,
But
no,
he
no,
got
Los
picked up
Angeles.
by Denver, and I
Los
think he
And
actually did
he
something.
had a decent rookie year too.
Sometimes when you play in a real game, you kind of look a little faster. You go a little faster.
Well,
Wasn't it Audric Estime?
Yeah, him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Estime from
Estime,
yes,
yeah,
from
him.
Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah, from Notre Dame.
What
How'd
was
he
his
do?
40?
His 40 was slow.
He ran like a 4.8 or something.
I love how we
That's
always say that with a gut out. But
Let me ask you all this.
76 attempts, 310 yards, 4.1. That's not good.
That's not great.
And 2 touchdowns.
I saw what you looking at.
I was trying to.
Here's my question. Which guy, I said this in our personal chat, allows Caleb to take a nap in the pocket? Which guy allows us
that
to?
would be Ariante
Irsay.
Irsay. That's not how you say his name. I keep flipping.
Ursay?
I got dyslexia.
Jim Irsay?
It's like, yeah, I'm about to say like Jim or something?
Ursery.
Oh,
No,
Ursery.
I got dyslexia sometimes, so I flip the letters around. Ursery.
Which guy is going to protect my quarterback to the point where I'm like, man, he has so much time back
Well,
there?
and
No.
that's
I'm just saying at 10.
no,
at this
and
point.
that, well, at 10, listen, I
don't like a scenario
I
where
would
I'm
say
trading
Will
back
Campbell.
and Will Campbell's there.
I would say Will Campbell, but the one thing that I will say
You
about
get Will
Ariante
Update my people
Ursery
movers list.
is, and this is what I asked him, right? Like, where do you feel the offensive line story is, right? Is it, and basically what he said was, he was like, it's Will Campbell, it's Armand Membu, they're the technique guys, they're the guys that don't have flaws in their game, they go out there and play. He's like, I still think Kelvin Banks is good. I don't know why he's dropping, but I think he's still up there. But after that, they're all kind of the same. Not to say that they're bad, but Josh Simmons is good, but you got injury concerns.
Class at
Gray Zabel is good, but you got what's a good way to say, class or talent level
like
concerns.
who
Like
did
he
he go
played
against?
he played at North Dakota State
Yeah.
So you got
University.
Even though
so you got B
competition.
talent.
Competition,
So you're saying these
It's
are high
not-
B plus.
It's not
They're not A talent, but
it's
they're like
not
B
B talent,
plus.
but it's the guys that you think this guy can be this, but the coaching is going to have to get him to be this.
So that's B
right.
plus.
So Ariante Ursery can be A plus talent, but sometimes he's got technique issues, and that needs to be coached out of him. That's where Dan Richard comes in, right? Josh Simmons has the injury concerns. He's talented, but you don't know how that's going to go in the NFL level. Gray Zabel has the talent concerns or talent level concerns, I should say, for who he was playing against. And the question mark is where on the line are you putting him? Now he can play all 5 positions, so I like that. But I think when I hear that, and when you see Ariante in Minnesota, he's destroying people. He's putting people in the dirt.
I do like SEC.
Did we get rid of Roschon?
Well,
Roschon has too many
They're
concussions.
underutilizing him. I've always said that for the last 2 years.
Too many concussions. Here's the
Not
thing.
too.
He's a gap scheme runner, right?
He is.
Which means you got to run between the tackles.
And we didn't have that.
They need to use
If
him more
you
in the
got to
red
run
zone.
between the tackles
You're going to get hit.
and you got concussion issues,
You gonna get
you
hit.
probably going to get your head shook up a couple of times. And I don't care what nobody say. That helmet is stupid.
Yeah, I can't stand that.
The outer
that
thing,
double helmet.
it makes no sense to me.
No, it scientifically works.
Where's your brain at?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
No, where's your brain at?
Inside your skull.
Right. So if I hit you and you stop and your brain is still in motion,
still
what the outside thing doing?
splat.
That's my point with all
connected
of
to your
it.
They're
neck, too. Like,
dampening
your
the
neck can
they're
be
dampening the impact so
swaying
that
all
your
over the
brain
place.
doesn't move as much.
I get you.
And that is scientifically
If
proven.
I hit you in the head and you
It's science.
I'm
and
just
your
saying-
body's still moving,
but
and your
it's-
brain's still
it's-
moving, but your head
it's
going that way.
scientifically proven though.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of stuff that's scientifically
I ain't
proven
gonna lie,
that
it
don't
looks
make
stupid.
sense.
It looks
I
stupid.
don't care about the look of it.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't believe it works.
He's got the look.
hey, Roshan wore it all year and missed 5 games with concussion.
I guess I'm just like at this point where it's like I'm okay with not being in this running back conversation at all.
At all?
Matt
You wouldn't
Pryor
take
just signed
anybody
with
in
the
No,
the
like
draft?
was early,
not first
I
round
didn't
one
know
or
we
even
lost Matt
round
Pryor.
two because I mean let's be for real.
Who's your best running back on the team?
I get where right now would be Swift.
Exactly. Is he good enough?
I hear you.
Give me Ian Wheeler, baby.
I hear you. What
I'll
was
take
our
Ian
biggest
Wheeler as
issue?
running back too.
What was our biggest issue?
Ian Wheeler's running back 1.
Our
Our biggest
issue was
issue
the
was
line.
running yards.
Well, our biggest issue was the line.
Well, our biggest issue was protection and getting holes.
A
Yeah,
line
you're right.
solves running.
But DeAndre Swift was played behind Philly, so you can't use that excuse.
A
He was the
line,
same player.
A line solves running.
I agree with that. But DeAndre Swift played behind
The
Philadelphia the year
49ers, the
before.
49ers have showed you, even the Eagles have showed you, Baltimore. When you have a good line, your guys they can.
That's what always cracks me
You
up
can
when
put
Muzz
anybody
sit
in
there and
there.
they
You can
tell
put
me,
anybody
oh
in
well,
there.
this is who this guy is because
Swift's talent
he
level
was
is
that
not
guy.
there.
It was like, well,
No.
it helps when like there's people just moving you out the way. I agree with you. Listen, I don't think DeAndre Swift is good enough. I'm not saying, and I think this is the part that irritates me, right? Like people act like I'm saying don't take a running back.
Don't take him at 10.
Well, I know you win. You want.
Don't take a running back in the first round.
Yeah. But then you got to pay him.
I don't want to take a running back in the second round. I would like to get one in the third. I think there's still going to be some good talent on the board there. But we've seen in the NFL over the past few years, like running back, what did the freaking 49ers just do? They went through 4 running backs last year.
Jordan
and
Mason.
every one of them was good.
There's not a situation that I'm willing to entertain where we
Isaac
have
Orlando.
Will Campbell in our hands and we say, yep, no, I'm going to trade back.
That I
That
agree
to
with.
me, I agree with.
There's
it.
no
And
way.
I
There's
don't- I
no way
don't-
you do that.
No way. No
So,
way.
like, in that scenario you mentioned, he's there, and we said, we really want this running back,
Yeah,
though,
yeah, yeah.
and we're going to pick up this
Essentially,
extra
yeah.
pick.
It's
and it's
sweet
like,
to have 3 second-round
And-
picks.
and-
but
and-
I get that,
And I'll
but
say
it's like,
this:
nah,
you
Will.
really want the running back because in the mock draft, if you take a look at it and check out the mock draft, Gray Zabel, I believe, is still on the board. Mike Green is still on the board. Derek Harmon is still on the board. Donovan Izuriku is still on the board. Kelvin Banks Jr. is still on the board.
There's no way you do that.
Kenneth Grant is still on the board.
yeah, I'm
Nah,
taking
you
any of those guys.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all.
Realistic.
We
That
got
was.
a
I'm taking
super
those
chat
guys.
from Roddy B. Shout out to Roddy B. Said,
How many first round running backs have worked out over the last 20 years? I would think that they.
lot
I
of
actually
them.
looked
I
this
would
up.
think.
Yeah,
I would
worked
think
out.
a lot of them have
They
worked
worked
out.
out. They just didn't bring Super Bowls.
A lot of them.
Well, none of them do.
I mean, well,
Except for
Marshawn got
Saquon.
played out of
Saquon.
one.
Not really.
Saquon.
Marshawn Lynch got played out of one.
Saquon ran 44 yards in the Super Bowl.
No, he
still
left.
won the Super
But
Bowl.
he left.
Whoa,
his
whoa, whoa,
team
whoa,
and
whoa.
went to
They won the Super
Eagles.
Bowl.
The Chiefs were so focused on Saquon that allowed everything else to open up. That's
That
I
was
can't
the
let you
Walter
say
Payton
that.
effect.
I can't let you say that. No, Saquon. They don't win without Saquon. They don't even get there
True,
without
let's
Saquon.
not forget
I can't
Marshawn
even- I
got
can't
played
let
out
that-
of being
I
the
can't let
guy
that.
when they lost
Well,
at the
Marshawn
goal
was-
line.
Marshawn wasn't.
He
Here's
left
the thing.
Buffalo.
Here's the
when they
thing.
decided to
Was he
throw
first
versus
round?
run.
Here's
Was
the
he
thing.
first round?
This is my this
Marshawn
is
was that first round.
this is my
24th.
favorite
I thought he was
stat.
second.
He was?
This is
I
my
thought he was
favorite stat to prove my whole running back point.
There we go. Focus.
Until
Tiffany roll.
a little tempo on this. You basically have to go back to Marshall Faulk for a running back that was impactful on a team to have I think it's 80+ yard game in the Super Bowl. So like the lead back, that lead guy,
Jamal Lewis.
Thomas Jones didn't do that before they let him.
Thomas Jones didn't stop. They stopped running.
Oh, in the first half,
They
he didn't
stopped
have,
running.
Okay.
Did McCaffrey get shut down against the 49?
McCaffrey didn't win.
I mean, but
I'm
let's
talking
also
about teams that won.
But let's also be for
McCaffrey didn't
real.
win.
Philly didn't have to do much. I mean, they were shutting the Chiefs down.
Oh yeah, the defense.
Like,
the defense won that
the
Super
defense
Bowl.
won that Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah, I don't care.
didn't have
about-
to run much
You know, I
at
don't care
all,
about the
right?
running back situation at all with that. It was like, well, yeah, you don't have to run much when I just intercepted it and took it back to the house.
Yeah.
Shout out to the amazing whites.
You don't.
That's a great
That's
white.
a great.
That's a great white.
Cooper DeJean did his
Cooper
thing.
DeJean is a great white.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Hey, it's so amazing that's appropriate
I'm half
to
white,
say.
so I can pull it off. You know
No,
what I mean? I'm
they
good.
say it on national media. Amazing whites, and they just laugh it off. It's so.
Well, Philly calls them that.
It's
Like
it's
the
crazy to say,
Eagles
bro.
call them the Amazing Whites.
It's crazy that's a problem. Because if they called them the Amazing Blacks on a different team, it'd been a whole different story.
Well,
bro.
no, you wouldn't call
would
them
be
the
the
Amazing
Amazing
Blacks
Blacks?
because
Amazing darkies.
they're just that's crazy. We've had a wild week on the breeze, dog.
Look at the drive it again.
We've had a wild week on the breeze,
Shut
bro.
down Amos and
Drew,
Anthony,
god
please.
dang it!
Come on,
David
people.
Montgomery and Jameer
I had to
Gibbs.
follow behind the shuck and
Thank
jive.
God we're black.
Oh Lord.
Jesus.
Oh.
Could you imagine how canceled we would be if we were
I
Caucasian?
mean, you can't get canceled.
Nah, if you
can't get canceled.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You pull off
Cancel
the
culture
Amazing
is over.
Darkies.
Cancel
The
culture is over.
Amazing Dark.
The Amazing Darkies.
Nah.
You got to answer some questions to somebody.
You just gotta
for
have
the
a
Amazing
Bill
Darkies.
Burr attitude and be like, you ain't canceling me. 10 more minutes. That's all you gotta say.
Let's try to get this train wreck off.
Here go Crimson. Here go Crimson with Jive and JC back at it again.
Hey, you can't talk about me. I didn't do this. That was 3 days ago. Jive and JC.
Oh, they can't do that. Let's not do that.
Hey, bro.
Hey, he said y'all trying to get demonetized again.
Oh yeah, they
you
can't
know
do
what?
that. Yeah.
My bad.
They can't
Hey,
do
you
that.
know what? Let's you know what? Let's move on this one. And this is how you pivot. All right.
Torian in the building with the super chat. Shout out to Torian dropping a couple of super chats in the building. Man, I ain't seen you in a minute, dog. How you been? He used to be in every Bulls live call.
Look at KO. Here we go with the colorism conversation.
Hey, Crimson, that's the comment of the day. It's Chicago. We don't care.
It's Chicago. We don't care.
Said that last time.
No one here.
We
actually
need
cares.
that. It's Chicago.
Yeah, we need
Keep
that.
it moving.
Oh man, but
What was
no,
the
listen.
next
I like. Here's the thing. So this is how the full mock draft plays out. Omarion Hampton, Nick Scorton in the second round at 39, Darius Alexander at 41, Ariante Airsary at 50, and then you finish it out with Isaiah Bond at 72.
Ooh, I like that.
I love the draft. Now,
Quick
I
question.
will say this. You took Isaiah Bond, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check this.
In the second round.
No, this is in the third round. You took Isaiah
72
Bond
is
in the
third.
third round.
Yeah.
Not really. Okay, never mind. I thought he had left. I must have been looking at another mock draft. I thought he had left some people on the board that I was like,
Is this just
no, but
strictly a
Chris Paul
Chicago
Jr.
Bears?
was on the board, but
You look at that tape. I like him as a linebacker. I like Chris
hey,
Paul
I
Jr.
will say
as
this:
a linebacker.
the one thing I asked him because I was like, we may need to replace
Sanborn?
Tremaine Edmonds
yeah,
here
definitely.
at some point. Is there a linebacker in this draft
I wouldn't.
that you need to replace
can
him
do
with?
that.
But aren't you a little premature with
Yeah, I
that?
was gonna
though?
say,
a little
what-
premature because he
2 years?
He but he
Dennis
was
Allen, the whole new defense.
not even that. I don't think they had the personnel in front of him to
I agree with that.
use
I
him
said
at
that.
his
I agree with that.
fullest.
I said that.
So
That's
maybe
fine.
those 2 years
But
have not
we'll
been
see.
right
But
yet.
when they did have the personnel, he still wasn't that good.
We'll see.
He was cool.
He was cool.
But he ain't
Yeah,
paying him a
but-
lot of money either, though.
What you talking about?
He ain't
Yeah,
paying him.
no,
I
he-
ain't saying
no,
he ain't
he
paying
got-
him
he
like
got the bigger
30 million.
contract.
He got the
Bro,
bag.
he's
man.
like the fifth highest paid
bag.
bear
He got-
on the
he-
team.
He's not number on our team, but I'm saying, but you're not paying him like an exorbitant contract.
You're paying
where it's
him
like,
a lot
it's
of
hurt.
money to be a middle linebacker, bro.
TJ
What he
Edwards
getting,
had
like,
the
20?
average
More than
contract.
TJ.
He ain't getting
TJ's
20.
And
outproducing him by a
TJ
lot.
is a
Is he getting
dog.
20?
I think
Yeah,
he
he's
gets
not
18.
getting 20.
18.
He's not getting
18.
20. So I'm saying, is his deal that bad for him?
Yes.
being-
No, it's a lot of
being
money,
good?
bro.
You're
Yes.
paying him to be that Urlacher-ish type of
And I love
What
Tremaine.
is-
I want Tremaine to work out. I don't want the Bears to have
rangy
to
guy.
get rid of him because of when you talk about he is the Braxton Jones of the defense, kind of. All the measurables.
Ooh.
All the measurables. But when you get a hold of somebody, don't let them push you over for a first down. When the ball is thrown directly at you, catch it.
I caught it.
But I didn't
Yeah,
think
he's
I
4
didn't really
years,
think that
7
he
years.
was
That's
that
18.
kind of.
Yeah, he getting $18 million a year. He getting a lot of money, bro.
That's a lot of money.
What's that cap hit?
compared to the contracts? Now 18 ain't a lot.
That's
What's that
still
cap
a lot
hit
of
you
money.
moving?
Well, it was a lot when you paid him
Yeah,
that
back
money.
in
He was one of the top paid
20,
linebackers. Now the cap is going
How
up
much?
2 years.
What was that signing bonus? How much of a cap?
He
hit
got
is it?
$9 million in signing bonus.
So most of that is still on the.
$50
Right
million
now,
guaranteed.
you would only save $2 million if you cut him. I think. So it's not even worth it to
It's
cut
not
him.
worth it.
That's what-
Well, if you want to be technical, that's like Tevin Jenkins' money. I just want to throw that shade in.
That was
That's what throw that shade
I
in.
hope Tevin
Hey,
has
hey.
great success
2.67.
and finds
I do
help.
too. I do too.
So
that's wild.
so in context, right, Drew, just to let you know.
Oh no, this ain't good. This ain't good.
Tremaine Edmonds is the third highest paid linebacker in the NFL.
I stand corrected then. I stand corrected.
I didn't know that. I thought some linebackers had got some
Hey,
money.
who's the top? Who's over?
Roquan,
Gotta
he
be
makes
Roquan.
$2 million less than Roquan Smith.
No way.
He makes $2 million
Fred
less than
Warner's
Roquan
number
Smith.
two.
You are nowhere near that level
I
of
remember when he
production.
signed, everybody was like, "Oh, this contract is not bad. It's a good contract for if he being."
Well, it was a
he's
good
less.
contract because we thought he was a great player coming off. He was coming off a Pro Bowl
Bowl.
season. He was playing for that. Told
You
you
thought
about
you
the
were
Pro
getting
Bowls, though.
Roquan,
Yeah. I want all pros.
You're right. You're right.
I
I can't say nothing about Pro Bowlers
You know what they doing at the Pro Bowl? I got your flag. I got your flag. You're down now.
I will give you.
Give me
this,
your
Pat.
flag.
I will give you
Yeah.
this, Pat. We definitely have more appreciation for all pros versus
No,
pro.
every year. He was a Pro Bowl player. Shut up.
Yeah, it's coming to fruition now.
Mitch Trubisky was a Pro Bowl player.
He did play. he
Money
did
making
Pro Bowl
Mitch
player.
deserved it.
Money making.
There
No,
we
he
go.
didn't. He was
No,
the
he-
ele-
he
he was
tried-
the
yes, he
11th quarterback on.
Everybody else
We didn't
show
lose
up.
that playoff game because of Mitch.
Where's Mitch?
Double doink.
Hey, we did not.
Double doink.
I had that conversation.
No, actually,
No, I had that
defense
conversation. I had
messed
that-
that up.
Mitch
No,
is
they
back
Because
in-
he came
Mitch is
back in the
in
second
fi-
We
half.
had
in
10
Buffalo.
people on the field instead of 11, and Vic Fangio, they
No,
the linemen
I
excuse
had
on
that.
that game.
We still should have won that game. I had that conversation with my dad. I don't know if people believe this or not, but this is what I believe. If the name who shall not be mentioned on a Bears channel makes that kick, the Chicago Bears go to the Super Bowl.
You know, he made the
Oh, no,
first
I believe
kick.
that.
I believe
He made the first kick.
Oh man.
Chicago Bears go to the Super Bowl.
I believe
Oh,
that.
man.
Remember how bad the
playoffs
NFC
was
was?
horrible.
Like the next
Yes.
game that happened, we were just like,
Horrible.
They played the Saints.
they can't
The
score.
The whole
The
playoffs
Eagles
was
played the
horrible that
Saints
year.
though, and
Oh, it was
I don't
bad.
know. I can't.
It was bad. The
The
double
re-
doink
like
is
the
bad.
rest of the NFC playoffs was,
Oh, that was
horrible.
It was hurt. It was
And what was
hurtful.
it? Was it the NFC Championship? Is Brady in? No, Brady's still in.
Brady,
in
AFC.
Brady was
No,
in the
Philly-
AFC.
no,
No, because
Philly
he was
beat
playing
Tampa.
Philly beat Tampa.
Philly. No, Philly
Oh,
beat
that was the
the
next
Patriots.
year.
year.
That was the next
Tom
year. No,
went.
that was the next year. That was
Because 2018, Tom was still in.
Oh, shout out Andre
Tom-
Barker
wait,
with the
wait.
$50 super chat.
Tom was still with the
Andre
Patriots.
Baker.
Appreciate it.
Andre
Andre
Baker.
Baker. My bad.
I think I
Appreciate
know
you.
Oh, shout out Andre.
What's up, Andre? What's happening?
Beat him on
Andre.
All-Star Weekend. He was the other coach of the losing squad.
Well, don't let him take away the money. You know, they already paid.
Andre's got the bag anyway.
Hey, thank
shout out Andre,
Thank you.
my
That goes
boy.
on my trip to
For that.
Turkey.
I don't necessarily know him, but I know him.
drinks.
Yeah, Andre's the man.
Just
man.
say thank you
people,
for
man.
paying
Good
my
people.
trip to Turkey. Yes, I did. I heard that late.
We gonna use the $50 for a hell.
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
I ain't
Joe
mad
going
at
to
it.
Turkey.
Hey.
I'm gonna walk in there.
What's the one thing you gonna get when we get the money? I'm gonna be
Steaks. What do you think?
Like, what
That is a dumb question.
question is
What else
Get
would
the
he
dang
say?
Texas.
He coming to Brontosaurus burger. He
darn
coming
right.
to Fred Flintstone with the steak on the
He gonna
back.
get that 100-ounce steak.
I'm gonna go out of the country. I'll go out of the country for it. I'm gonna go out of the country for the steak. I
Y'all
might go
remember
to like the
Baby
island
D
or
on
something.
Friday? You gonna be like that with steaks. I heard Bebe's got a new steak. It's a bad mama
Hey,
steak.
baby. I got this meat.
No, Pat. He's going to Omaha. He's gonna go to Omaha
Going to
Steaks.
Omaha Steaks,
He
baby.
gonna get a subscription to steak.
Oh man, $50 a month.
I might be able to hook that up for you, actually.
doggone
But
right,
shout out Omaha Steaks. Woo! Wait, what'd you get? What'd you get when we get the bag?
Private membership for. No. It's a flight club. It's a flight club. Like you can. It's
I
a
thought
it's
you
a
was
club
about
where
to
you
say
can have
something
fractional
different. I was like,
ownership
not
of a plane. You can have fractional ownership of like exotic cars.
Okay.
So like I saw it in the membership.
see you doing
The membership was like 20 bands, and it was like, but you get like 4 flights anywhere in the country with up to 4 people to travel with you, and then you get like access to like these supercars.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
So
Cool.
Hey, I ain't gonna
You want
lie
my
to
real answer?
No, that was your real answer.
No, it
That's
wasn't.
what you get.
It wasn't my
You're
real
locked in. I got 2 kids. I'm not getting nothing. What'd you get when we get the
What?
A house? Another house?
In my, maybe my
Man said
snowbird.
I ain't getting nothing.
My snowbird.
Your snowbird crib?
Yeah, like
you can't have a snowbird crib and do this show.
yeah, you can.
A what?
No, you
What
can't.
crib?
Why not?
He's not
Remote.
Stephen A.
What
He's
time
not
of
Stephen
year
A.
do we do this show?
Listen, man, I'm going on vacation.
Well, you
right
ain't
now.
going nowhere during football season.
Listen.
This about doing cruises during football season
Yeah,
last year.
he went
No,
everywhere
we
in a
do it
week.
in the off season.
Went everywhere
Hey,
in
bro,
a week.
I
you,
would say-
you don't need to have a snowbird crib in the off season. It's warm.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, no,
It's
the
Chicago
first, no, the
South.
first half of off
February,
season.
March. April, yeah, this is
2 months.
Nova said,
You mean all the time with free agency?
Hey,
and all
Nova,
that
I
stuff?
got the.
I can figure it
I
out.
actually got a link for that, man. They actually hit me up today about that. That's kind of crazy.
Drew, what you getting?
Cool.
Drew getting hair.
No, hair's on my own.
Drew gonna come back like Method
No,
Man.
no.
Nobody talks about
That
that.
man gonna come back all swollen.
yo,
stuff.
yo, get back in the gym.
Hey, I already been there, but nah, real talk. If we get this bag though, bro, I'm on a supercar with you, man. I'm getting my Lamborghini Countach.
Old school Countach.
You know what I will say?
Drew,
I'm
I
a
said
Murcielago
fractional
guy.
ownership. I'm not paying for these cars. I want you to know. I'm paying for the access to them on certain times.
I want
It-
to go.
it's-
I
it's-
want to go to my garage and look at my
No,
Lamborghini.
no.
Hey, you know
I
what?
want to call up the
Hey,
guy,
Drew,
say
you
drop
know
it off
what?
at the office for the weekend,
I'm
and then
with you.
go away. I don't want to pay for it.
Since I was 15 years old, I always said I will own a Skyline GTR one day. I know it's a dumb
I like
purchase.
that.
It's dumb.
He
It's
dog,
dumb.
shut
It's dumb.
up.
It's dumb.
It's
If you have money to waste.
No, it's $100. Well, that's true, but it's $160,000 car. That's never a smart investment.
You know what's funny?
It's dumb.
one?
It is.
To be
It
honest
is
with you-
because you can actually, if you go to certain auctions, you can get your money back.
To be honest with you, like I'm kind of old in a sense. I don't have
Steve-O
those.
said-
Kinda.
Steve-O said Drew coming back like Tory.
I don't really think about it to that because I'm already working on those type of things. So to me, it's more like an addition. To,
All right, rich nigga. We ain't
no, I'm
got
just
all
saying,
that.
like I haven't.
The
I
guy that
haven't-
already had the
dang
bag.
it.
I haven't. But I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I
I-
gotten- like, I
why,
want-
why would I need
want
that on my
business
yeah.
to
Experienced
I've-
everything in life.
I've done a lot of things that I'd like.
He probably
to do.
wants experiences. More
So
than
to me,
anything.
it's more like, yeah, like when you add that, like threw me off. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really think I've gotten to most of the things I'd like to get.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I like that idea of like, I guess like you said, some experiences.
I'd bet
fractional
property in
ownership,
Malta.
baby. I want to be able to experience it and give it back.
I just want vacations.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I want vacations.
Honestly, that would be mine.
I want
wanna go to
vacations with the
Malta.
squad and bring your wife.
Hey,
Oh, yes.
And we don't do
there we
solo
go.
vacations.
There we go. Yeah, because we get in trouble.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in them.
Silver
No,
Harvest
no,
said he
nah,
said he'd
nah.
love him a proper R34 one day with 2 kids and responsibility says otherwise.
I understand,
Oh,
Silver
definitely.
Harvest. I 100% understand.
Get you a DBX.
Crimson
Silver
said,
Harvest. Get you a
"The
DBX.
heck with cars. Give me some food."
I respect it. I respect it.
Guy after my own heart.
Oh, wait a minute now.
I'll go after steaks.
Hey, now, let's get real. Though. We've all seen them online. I'm not paying $1,000 for a steak.
Nah, I pay
would.
$1,000.
I'm not paying $1,000 for a
I
steak.
want
I
the
would.
experience.
No,
absolutely not.
If I got that bag, I'll pay $1,000.
Absolutely
for a
not.
steak.
123
Now,
for
you
the
know
tomahawk
what?
when we went
You
to
gonna pay
Salon.
10 times that?
Yes!
I
Yeah.
did say this. I would like
No.
to go
What?
away to a sports institute for like a month, like one of them Tim Grover type things, and just
Yeah.
get back. That's something I would
I would
love
do that
to
anyway.
do. That is
That's a
like
side thing, yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Joe, you wouldn't make it.
That's like Attack
I would.
Athletics.
That's, I'm
Joe
paid
doing
to
that.
do that.
Hey,
I can see Joe doing that.
Joe wouldn't do it because they'll start talking to him crazy. He'll be like, I'm a grown man. You can't talk to me like that.
No, because I'm.
That's an experience, though.
It's a meal prep. It's 2 a day. Work it out.
I'm out of here.
No, the whole point is if I'm paying for that, I'm not saying a boot camp where they just beat me up. But if
Oh,
it's a
that's-
sports
that's what I
institute,
think of.
I
I'm
would
thinking
do
of a
that.
sports
No,
institute.
that, I'm
a
thinking you're doing
regiment.
talking like the
about
joint
get back
Tiger
at-
Woods went to.
No, I'm talking about get back at not like that marine stuff
Be
and
a
they beat them.
survivor.
I would
No,
do that.
I'm talking about getting
I would
back a
love to
meal
do that.
plan,
Looks
back
like
in
a
shape,
survivor would be
go to
hilarious.
Phoenix for like a month or so. That's
Joe
what
trying
I'm-
to go on my 600-pound life and just sneak in.
All right, Fuzz, we gotta get this last topic.
Let's finish this out, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let us know how you feel about the mock draft that was thrown out there by the Athlon. I think that, or Athlon, I should say. I'm not mad at it. You gonna take a running back? I don't hate that. I do hate the fact that you left Will Campbell on the board, though.
I hate everything about
I hate the fact that you left Will
Will
Campbell
Campbell
on
on
the board.
Yeah.
I hate everything about what you mentioned, but though.
All right.
I hate everything.
Hate your guts.
Hey, listen,
Hate
not
that.
you. I'm just saying. You mean to tell me Will Campbell's there? You was like, yeah, let's get cute.
Let's get
Trade
past
back.
this last
No.
topic.
Listen. Just because you're not in on the last topic,
I don't
don't
like
mean-
these. I don't like neither
Nah, you
one
know
of
what?
these guys.
I think this is an interesting topic to finish out with the Stephen A. Smith LeBron James debate. I just want to know what people's thoughts were
Well, I got
on
thoughts.
it because I'm not gonna lie to you.
I got thoughts.
This is a situation, and I'm not saying that this is clearly something that's outside of sports.
Absolutely.
It's personal.
This is personal,
This was worse than him and Kyrie.
100%,
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
No, him and Kyrie got real beef.
No, because Kyrie, that was with his dad though.
This
It's
was
worse
that.
than him and Kwame, though.
Well,
Kwame had Gilbert Arenas. He ain't had Stephen A. no more.
No, Kwame was at
I mean,
Stephen
back
A.
when
though.
he was like home
Stephen
on
A.
the
was
bus
at
and
Kwame
everything.
back in the day.
Said he ruined his career, went to colleges and stuff.
Kwame Brown.
Hold on,
ruined
hold
his
on.
career.
But anyway, yeah.
Kwame Brown ruined Kwame Brown's career. I don't care what Kwame tried to
When
change.
Kwame
the
said,
narrative
"Don't
on.
pass me the ball because I ain't gonna hit these free
Hey,
throws," nah.
You want to know why Kwame Brown ruined his career?
Why?
Because he
Kwame played in Golden State.
Yep.
Kwame played in
Lakers.
the Lakers.
Yep.
Kwame played in was it San Antonio?
He played with the Bobcats too under Jordan.
No, I know
Bobcats.
Washington, but I'm saying after
Charlotte.
that.
I don't know.
Hey,
He
you
played
had
four
you
different
had a
spots.
million opportunities to get better at basketball.
and had started minutes at one point.
But best one thing about it is he still made money though.
He wasn't a
He
dog.
still
He
made
made
money.
He wasn't
still
a
made
dog.
money.
He didn't lose at life.
Right.
He didn't lose
He
that
still
much.
made money.
He was a scrub on the
He
court.
just was bad at basketball.
That was it.
Hey, look.
Right. He was 7 feet and really couldn't
Or
score
he's
as
a-
much.
He, was
He ain't had no
broken
heart.
men-
He ain't had a heart.
So basically, he's broken mentally with Jordan, and he goes to the Lakers with Kobe. So they had no patience for him, but he wasn't strong enough to handle it.
Right.
If I'm Kwame Brown, Kobe ain't talking
He
to me
had
like
4
that.
years in Washington.
Kobe ain't talking to me like that. No, I'm sorry. Listen, I just played with Mike. You better shut up.
Nah,
you ain't talking to me
you
like
gotta,
that.
You gotta understand though.
You out of there if you do that.
You touch Kobe Bryant.
Kobe wanted it. Kobe want that type of energy.
No,
Yeah,
that's
the
no,
organization
That's
is
hold
gonna
me
take
back.
you
That's
out.
hold me back.
If you touch Kobe Bryant, you no longer have a job in the
What's
NBA
up?
for 10
You're a black
years, right? That's
Hey,
different.
hey,
That's different.
I'm on a block. Pass it, Kobe.
Hey, I don't know how Isaiah Stewart's still in the league right now.
Hey,
But-
facts.
He's also just
Facts.
not good at basketball, but that's
Big
another
bully.
thing. He's a good defender. I shouldn't say that. He a good. I just got beef with Detroit.
It's a
The
scrub.
problem
It's not
I
a real
have
place.
with the LeBron Stephen A thing is that Stephen A. Clearly, this is personal, but it's to a point now where it's like, now you're just being loudly wrong because you're trying to act like the original issue of you calling out his son. No, I'm sorry. You calling out him as a father
Like, why would you put him in that position?
who
Yep.
hey, let me shout. I would pray for a father like this. Help me get to the NBA.
Was in your life every
Help
day.
me learn a work ethic
Yeah.
to the point where I can be the third from last pick in the NBA draft and probably win G League MVP
He's on his way.
as
The kid can play.
literally the best player selected in the second round. Maybe you could say Kyle Filipowski's better because he's playing on an NBA floor, but Kyle Filipowski
I would
looks
say-
terrible.
I would
That's
say
not
that.
the point.
No, but here's the thing.
But you take away from the point though.
You're having a beef with this young man.
It's no beef. That's
No. You called out LeBron as a father
about what?
for his son playing on the NBA court.
Right.
No.
No.
That is exactly what Stephen A. originally
it's
called
not.
it out
It is
for.
not.
No,
No, it's not.
His
I
issue was
gotta hear
let's
this
go.
now.
his issue was that you hyped your son up to get to the NBA and you put these expectations on your son. So the whole point was if he's not ready, and he wasn't at first to a degree, the whole point was that you hyped this kid up. So my thing was, not my thing, his thing was, as a father, you're setting him up possibly for failure because
Okay.
you're putting immense pressure on Bronny to succeed. That was the issue.
So let me ask you this: who was last year's 55th overall pick in the draft, or 2 years ago?
We don't know.
That don't. Nobody.
I know.
Because you looked it up.
No, I know. It's not. I know. I'm saying I know y'all don't know.
We didn't.
Who was 2 years ago?
I don't know.
Who was 3 years
I
ago?
don't care.
It's irrelevant. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it's irrelevant,
Right.
Because none of them are in the NBA at this point.
But LeBron was
none
saying
of them
that
are
his
in-
son is better than a lot of
That's
NBA
true, but let me-
players
but
in the
let
league.
me ask you one question,
My point is, what pick was Bronny James taken with? The 55th overall pick. Those players aren't expected to do anything. Bronny might win G League MVP.
We're not talking about
Let me.
the G
Let me.
League.
Let,
Nobody
can,
care
I
about
put,
the G League.
can I ask you a question based on
my
that?
point is, he is
can I
the
ask you a
best
question on
young
that?
player in the G League
don't care about the
right
G League.
now.
Can I ask you one question based upon that? Can I ask you one question based upon that?
Go ahead.
So with Bronny being picked with the 55th pick, why is he getting NBA game time
Okay.
instead of being in the G League 100% of the time to hone his craft?
Okay,
That's my
let's
question
have
on
that conversation. Adama Sanogo, where was he drafted?
That's not the point.
No, this is the point. Adama Sanogo, where was he drafted?
There's no pressure on those guys.
That's great. Adama Sanogo,
There's
where was
no
he?
pressure on
Adama
Sanogo.
Sanogo, where was he drafted?
I don't know.
I
Keep
don't
going.
know. I
He
don't know who
wasn't.
he is.
He wasn't.
The point is that The pressure.
You know what he did?
The pressure.
That's great. You know what he did? Bro, here's the problem that I have with this. The pressure.
He
Do
isn't
great
ready.
players perform under pressure?
The great ones do.
Do you have to deal
learn
with
to. Or they learn
being
to.
pressure
Or they learn
in
to.
the NBA?
They learn
LeBron
to.
You
hyped
learn
his
to.
son up.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
great.
whoa.
That's all
That's
it
great.
was.
LeBron
I
hyped
get
his
you.
son up.
It's no different from
Where
LeVar
did
Ball.
an NBA team draft his son?
He told him to draft his son.
But-
Okay,
but-
where did
he
it?
would not have gotten
55th.
drafted.
Where
under
did
the
it?
circumstance.
Where did an NBA team draft his son?
Almost last in the draft.
I was last.
He's got 3 picks after him who can't play basketball.
That
Basically,
is true. But then you have to look at this aspect too. What they said is, LeBron said before Bronny even got to the NBA.
I'm gonna play with my son.
No, not even that. Well,
He
my point was
forced
he
that.
said
If you want
he
me.
said Bronny right now is better than half the folks in the NBA.
Right, that's what Stephen A.
He
said.
sold
He said
something.
that. He said that. So with that being said, and he get on the floor and was like, "Oh man, that's cap." Don't keep him up here to say he's just this when he's not.
How many minutes per
him get
game
time
do
to
Bronny
develop.
play?
That's not the point. The point is
Yes,
he-
it is.
On the
not
NBA
the
level?
point-
On the NBA level, how many minutes per game does Bronny play?
It's like less than 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
Less than 10. It's less than 5.
Yeah.
But
Bronny plays 2 minutes a game.
I know, but the point is, you can't go back and say that he's better than half the people in the NBA, and then when he gets on the floor, he doesn't show that. But then you don't want anybody to criticize that because
Right. You
that's
trying to
what
put
it
him in a
was.
bubble.
To me, Stephen A. says, "Bro, Bronny's not ready. Don't you had your moment opening day? Send him to the G League 24/7.
He's in the G League.
But he's not in 24/7.
He's the
'Cause he
best
wasn't
player in
ready.
the G League.
But
he
he's
wasn't
not. He's
ready.
not. He's not the best player.
He is literally going to win G League MVP.
Let me
He's
ask you
the
this.
best
because
player
of
in the
one-
G League.
Wait,
one
let me
game?
ask you this.
Of one game.
Did
Off
you
of
all-
one game what? What
Because
are you
he
talking
only
about?
scored
Let me ask you this.
39
Let me ask
one
you this.
game then.
Did you feel the
My G,
same way? Who
he
was
is
that point guard?
averaging right now 25, 7, and 7.
Hey, who was that point guard in Portland that had to go to the G League? It was the first round pick.
Oh, you talking about
Scoot Henderson.
Scoot Henderson.
Scoot
Did you
Henderson.
feel the same way about Scoot?
Scoot was taken with
About
the
what?
third pick in the draft or something
But I
like
feel
that.
what
Yeah, he was
wasn't
first
ready.
round.
Expectations
Yes, he was
was
there.
there.
Did you feel the
honestly,
same way
I
with
did.
that?
I did. I said he needed to stay in the G League until he got him a shot.
All I'm saying is,
So,
there
yes,
are
I did.
people who had higher expectations, had a better pedigree, you want to say, from that one, and they didn't pan out. This kid might actually pan out.
That's not the point.
That's not the
I
point.
get. Hold on. I get what the argument is. I understand what you're saying. I think there's two different things here. As a father, I expect my father to instill the confidence that
And
I'm
to hype
good.
me up.
And to
Same
hype me
thing-
up.
it's
I
the same thing
expect that.
LeVar Ball
Hold on.
did.
Hold
But
on.
right, but sometimes.
Let me. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Wait,
go
finish
ahead.
cooking.
Okay,
Finish
so-
Here,
Finish
the
cooking.
reason why I'm saying that is because guess what? If he doesn't do that, he what is that going to say about him then?
Yeah.
If LeBron says nothing about Bronny, guess what we're going to say?
He didn't say
He
the
don't
same.
believe-
He
he
didn't
don't
say.
believe in
He didn't say the same thing
He
about
don't
Bryce.
believe in his
He's
own
not
kid.
back.
He didn't say the same thing about
Hey,
Bryce.
Look at
He didn't say
LeBron.
the same thing about Bryce.
The whole point.
He
of
literally is talking about Bryce that
Right.
way
No,
right
he didn't-
now.
He didn't say. He
Bryce
never
about to
came
get
out of his
beat.
mouth and
Whoa.
said Bryce is better than half the folks in the NBA. He only said that about
You
Bryce.
also have to take that into context. At the time that he actually said that, it was a bunch of other NBA players saying that half the league doesn't care about basketball.
And they still don't.
And if you put that in full
don't have the
context,
bag.
if a kid comes in with the pedigree and access that he has, he might be better than half the league by the time it's all said and done.
By the way, one game this season with more than 10 minutes. One game he's played with more than 10 minutes.
Yep, he's
He dropped 17.
on the Bucks. Yep,
17 fully staffed Bucks.
30 minutes.
the art.
30 minutes.
I feel
Yep.
like we're going down.
Yep,
The
I'm
whole
looking
point
at it.
is
Yeah.
it was Stephen A. challenging LeBron as a dad, right? That was the whole
Why are
point
you
of him.
doing
yell-
that?
Because the whole point was that
He's
you
an
putting a
idiot.
target
Because it was
on
too
your
much.
son
No,
that he's either
no.
not.
Joe, if I challenge
The talk,
you,
Pat,
go ahead,
Pat,
go
let
ahead,
him
go ahead,
finish,
go
bro.
ahead, go ahead.
I'm just saying that was the argument. It's more about attacking or challenging LeBron as a father that he's not he's better than certain NBA players today. Whatever. I'm not saying that he's a total. I never said that Bronny was a bust at anything. The whole point is the argument was that LeBron propped his son up to a certain point where Stephen A. said he's not necessarily ready. You're putting all this pressure on him.
So you would rather LeBron say, yeah, Bronny kind of cheese?
No, it's not even about that.
It is,
because okay,
For my kids,
when Patrick
I
Ewing's
want my kids
when
to be
Patrick
great.
Ewing's son got in the league, did did anybody say anything about that?
Yeah, because nobody cared
Did
about
anybody say anything about Scottie Pippen Jr. getting in the league?
it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it was all
Did
about
Scotty-
his mom.
It was
did
about his
Scotty
mom.
get in
It was
there?
about his mom.
Scott, no, my point
wasn't-
is
it wasn't about
there
his
are
skill.
plenty
It
of
wasn't about his
guys-
skill. It
The
wasn't about
only
his
most
skill.
notable of most guys.
Scottie Pippen
kids,
is the best
No, but I'm saying that
superstar
what I'm saying is
kid
that
player.
the only, outside of LeVar Ball got up there and said, my son better than Steph Curry, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And when you do that,
Yeah.
the other players are watching. And Patrick Beverly put the clamps on that dude when he got there. Now, eventually he got into it. I'm not saying that Bronny is not at a level to be able to play. The problem is you put him he probably needed his attention level needed to be down here versus being way up here. And so my point was that I understood that Stephen A was saying he may not be ready right now. So that's why he's in the G League, because he's not ready to play in the NBA.
But here's the problem that I have with this. And this is why I say, you say there, nobody cares about the G League. Nobody cares about G League. Agreed. This happened all the time. This is not special to Bronny.
It's not special to Bronny.
This is what G League players do.
If you drafting a guy to play in the NBA, to play with his
My G.
Jose,
My G.
Hold a second. Woosah, bro.
Oh no, I'm just saying because
I see like
no,
days range up in
because
this place, man.
because this is my thing.
Yeah,
Like,
this is good for ratings.
we're acting like Bronny is getting
No, but see,
new treatment.
He is.
No, he's not.
He's not.
Let me finish this.
How
Let me
many-
finish-
how many games did Dalen Terry play in the G League and the NBA?
No, let me ask my question though. Let me ask
I
my
would
question
say
though. Let me ask my
Bronny's
question.
a better player
Let
than
me ask you a
Dalen Terry.
question. Of all the people in the G League and all the people that are the 11th and 12th people on the bench, how many of those names do you know? And it's been talked about.
I mean, I know
in the
a lot,
national,
but I cover
in the
the
national
NBA.
media. Okay, because you're being special.
Yeah.
We're talking about in the masses. Okay, the masses. If you got 1 million people, how many people
got
know
this one, Pat.
the last 11 and 12 people that's up and down on the G League on the bench? A lot of them don't.
You don't.
But Bronny is getting an enormous amount of scrutiny and attention instead of his development. That's my point.
No, he's getting
and he
both.
said if you draft
He's
my
getting
son,
both.
he basically forced to make sure his son got in the league.
That's great.
Whether he was ready. The
the
dude
second
had
best
a
player
heart.
ever.
He had a whole heart condition at USC, right?
Let's be.
He the second best player in NBA history.
The point is
I'm gonna give my son some opportunity.
okay, but the point is that
Facts, bro.
whether he was really
This
ready.
is my beef with
It's
him.
more about-
it
We
was
acting
really
like we
it's
not
more about an
parents.
earned position.
We
versus-
acting like we not parents.
It was
but
manufactured.
That's fine and all.
Joe,
but that's
if
fine
you
and
the
all.
Griffey
That's
brothers,
fine- that's
hold
fine
on,
and all,
hold
but
on,
you-
hold on. I got it.
That's fine.
And Joe, if you the VP of a company and you can allow your son to have a job at your company, you not gonna hire your son?
if he's capable to a degree.
Okay, so he's gone.
it
So
happens- it
hold
happens-
on. So
No,
he's
it
gone.
happened to me in real life.
No, he's
I'm gonna
gone
give you
to
a
school.
different-
He's gone to school
Hold
for
on.
it. He's done all of the things that you have to do
Okay.
to have the qualifications. You're not gonna give your son a job?
I don't know if he really has the qualifications.
Yes. Yes. He's gonna give him a job. He's gonna give him a job.
You're gonna
give him
yeah,
a job.
but
he's gonna give him a job.
Everybody would give their
I'm
kid
not
a
mad
job.
at LeBron. Well, nobody's mad that he got his son in the NBA. I wish my
No,
dad did.
that's what
The
half
issue
the
is that-
people are mad at.
The
No,
issue is the difference is saying my son is better than all you other people out here, and he can take your job. And then
Yeah.
you put him in there, and he's not ready.
And he's weak.
That's the problem. He's ready to take over the whole company, and then you give him the company, and he's not ready, and it goes down. That's the issue.
And
Versus
then-
just
and-
getting him
and-
in there, learning the ropes, being an intern, whatever. That is the problem.
So how do you
Stephen A.
do that?
called
And
that
then what I
out.
say-
How do you do that, though?
But then
So my dad hooked me up, right? I got an IBM.
Yeah.
I didn't go right to being I was a technician. I had to work my way up to a certain
Right.
point, right? You start to grow from that standpoint. But he didn't force me into a situation where I wasn't ready. Yes, there's potential. Yes, there's talent to a degree. That the only issue is that Stephen A. was saying that LeBron, you forced the situation to get him in there. He may not necessarily been ready. And he said he never even spoke about Bronny
Okay.
until he actually got to the league.
So
that's not true.
that's
That's
not
not
true.
true.
That's
That's
very
not
untrue.
true.
that's what he did say.
That he lying.
But he's
Well, yeah,
lying.
he's
He
lying.
lying.
Just like he
So
said,
he's saying
LeBron
he's
is lying.
They're all
He's
lying. They're all lying.
No,
to each other.
but here's my thing. You're not wrong in what you just said, right? Is Bronny going through the developmental
Yes.
leagues?
Yeah.
Is Bronny? Let me ask it. Is Bronny as a second round pick dominating the developmental league?
Yes.
yes, but what
Is
happened?
Bronny playing NBA games?
But hold on,
Yes.
Pat. You're right. The issue is that he was trumped to be. They literally brought Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. out there. They
That was
literally
manufactured. We know that was
was
But
manufactured.
the whole,
manufactured.
I know it's manufactured because they
How many
thought
minutes did
he
Bronny
was
play
ready.
that
He was
game?
like,
It was like 5.
No.
He got
They
a
said,
few minutes.
no.
He took one
he
shot.
got to go to the G League.
That's great. That's great.
He wasn't
No,
ready.
he was always
Let me-
going to
let
the
me
G
ask-
League.
let me
How
ask you a
many
question.
minutes did Bronny play in that game? He was always going to the G League. He's the 55th overall pick. You're going to the G League. He's literally on a two-way deal. How many minutes did Bronny play in that Ken Griffey Jr. game?
He played a few. He played
4
minutes.
4 minutes.
He got on the floor with his dad, and that was the whole
He
point.
got on the floor at like
He got on
a
the floor.
third quarter point in the game
He got on the
where it
floor
was
and
nothing.
played with his dad. He
And
played
then
with
they
his dad.
took him out.
He
I'm
played
with
with his
you,
dad.
Shot City. Who cares about G League?
My question to you is, and as a dad, because I've been a dad longer than all y'all.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you beat me by a couple years.
You started young. That's why you ain't got no head. No, just playing. It probably is, honestly. I'm heading that way.
That is true, yes. But my point is that I'm a father, and I've protected my kids to the umpteenth degree.
Right.
But you still, as a father, have to let your child accept criticism.
Okay.
Constructive criticism. And to me, LeBron did not. They didn't say anything about Bronny personally. It was just about his achievement on the court. And it was like, is it possible that he's not ready, stick him in the G League. Yes, you had your moment, and now it's time to move on. Now it's time to move on for his development.
This is my
that's my issue with this, though, Drew.
That's me the only point.
Drew,
He's in the G League.
Hold on. This is my issue, Drew. Stephen A. said something. He made it seem like, kind of to your point, there's so many other people that we don't hear about, right? And it's not fair to those players. Life ain't fair.
It's not.
This is the second greatest player to have ever touched a basketball. You know what happens when LeBron James comes to third? I don't care. He's top five. Hey, listen, Kobe, fine. All right, fine. I got LeBron over Kobe. Kobe's my favorite player. I got LeBron over Kobe. Hold on, let me finish. With all that being said, when LeBron comes to your city, what changes?
That's just stupid.
You get revenue, you get all of that stuff. When you can sit there and dictate how much revenue an organization drives, you get to call certain shots.
Yeah.
Guess what? Stephen A. should be happy that he is actually existing in a space where a black player like that can call those type of shots. Because not everybody in the league can do that. LeBron can do that. So guess what? He got his son on the team. Great.
LeBron has made
everybody in this chat that's saying they wouldn't do that, you're lying. Everybody on this page, you're lying.
Or you're not a good
if
parent.
if you had the ability to
Or you're not a
change
good parent.
tide and make that situation happen for your kid, you would. So here's the thing. I don't mind him talking about Bronny. Don't sit there and question this person's fatherhood and things of that nature. Don't do that.
You're saying,
don't be mad because I'm doing something you can't do.
No, it's not the point.
No, the point
That's how
is
he's
don't
coming
hype
about
up
it.
somebody ain't ready.
No, this is the
That's
point.
the point.
Again, taking 55th overall in the G League cooking. Has had an NBA game.
Okay.
You're in the G League because you ain't ready for the big league.
How many other fathers have sons in the league?
No.
Let me make a point.
Go ahead.
That are still playing?
That's came,
None.
gone, or whatever. You have both Michael's kids. Hold on a second.
Are you saying they're still playing right now?
That's just player.
Or just player kids?
Just players' kids.
Most of the league is player kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have not been under as much scrutiny because of multiple reasons.
Because their dad ain't the second greatest player of all time.
Mike's kids was the first great player of all time. But
This dude can get statues in 3 stadiums right now.
But they didn't get ostracized.
He overhyped them, though.
100% they get scrutiny.
But they no. What I'm saying is
Jordan's son went to jail for cocaine.
That was last week.
That was 2 months ago.
We talking about
his whole
weeks ago.
Jordan's sons were trash.
I'm not talking about
what I'm talking about is the development part of it. They went there. They got drafted. Marcus was better than Jeffrey.
That's true.
Marcus got in, was like, but it wasn't as much of a hype around them when they made it to the NBA.
But Drew,
because Mike didn't sell them.
No, this is my point.
Can I finish my point?
I get you. But he's in the G League.
But he's really not.
No, he is.
He's not. He's not in G League.
Drew.
It's in the G League 100% of the time.
Drew, no one is.
A lot of them
No one is.
They get called up.
Second round picks get called up. Galen Terry was the 18th.
They get called up usually on when somebody's hurt. They get called up.
No, they don't. Drew. I cover the NBA.
Bronny was never hyped to be this star-studded guard, though.
No, Drew, I cover the NBA, Drew.
And a lot of you're right.
G League players split time in the NBA.
Do they split? Do
they
split time?
Because that's what he's saying.
Do they split time, or do they only play in the G League when they're home?
No.
Do they
Why are
split
they in
time,
the G
or do they
League?
play or they play only in the or do they only play on away games? Home games.
Galen Terry only played with the Windy City Bulls when they were in Chicago.
Why are they in the G League?
Because they need development.
Okay, that's the point.
You having a dumb argument.
No,
Nobody's talking about that.
The whole point was that LeBron hyped his son up to a point
That's great.
that he wasn't necessarily ready for the next level.
Okay.
And that was the whole issue with Stephen A. saying. That's all we're saying. There's nothing wrong with trying to get your son in the league. There's nothing wrong with trying to get him to that point. Nobody's tripping on LeBron doing that. You should do that.
The issue with what Stephen A. said was, as a father, you are effing up. He is not.
Because you're putting him
He
in a position.
but I'm putting my son in a position where pressure exists. My God, my son plays in the NBA. There's pressure.
His last name is James.
His last name is James. There's pressure. You want to know why we clown the Jordan boys?
I'm not
Because
gonna-
they wasn't Michael.
Nowhere near.
Yes, but the whole point was that he's saying my son is better than XYZ. It's like, look, just let him do it on his own. Yes, he's got the LeBron James name, the Bronny brand, all that stuff. Let him do that. That was the issue.
So then, can we agree that both guys kind of went nuts?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest
he's the
with
one
you.
getting on, man.
I don't
about
believe
all
I don't
this
believe
GP
LeBron
stuff.
went nuts.
I think the.
I think LeBron defended. I think LeBron
to a
defended.
dude that said, "Keep my mother effing son name out of your mouth."
No.
it's not in a bit of.
He didn't say that.
You want to? You want? That is what Stephen A. said. He said. No. You want to know? You want to know? You want to know why? No. You want to know why? You want to know why it's not?
Okay, go ahead.
Because your beef is with me as a father, and then you go on an 8-minute rant about how Bronny James is bad at basketball.
He didn't say it was bad. He never said that. He
did.
never said
He
that.
did.
No, he didn't.
He literally-
This is about-
online, he never said
he
that.
He talked
bro.
about him not being an NBA player.
That's not bad at basketball. That means not ready.
Again,
That's two different things.
Again,
He hyped
but
his
if you're
son.
talking about the basketball, Joe, you supposed to hype your kids up.
No, you don't.
Why are you?
You set him up for failure. You
Joe,
don't hype him up.
Joe, your
you
dad-
don't sit there and
Joe,
sit your kid out
Your
there.
dad is
if he
in
not
here
ready.
every
Can we do this,
single
though?
But I-
live hyping you up.
Can we do this?
You know
though?
why? Because
Let's
I
take a step
deliver.
back. Let's take a step
Yes.
back. You know what?
Okay,
You know what's
okay,
different
okay,
right here?
Okay.
Somebody had a 17-minute rant to open the show. Someone also had another hour show.
Hour and a half.
You want to talk about professional crash out?
Hour and 25
The-
minutes.
The one thing we can learn from this whole ordeal is you don't go out like Stephen A. Because the way that he crashed out in this afternoon, he lost a lot of respect over something that he really didn't have to
His
respond
argument
to.
was that nobody
Fam.
the fact that he only looked at he won't give LeBron to be the number one
That's-
greatest
that's
of
what-
all time.
that's
the
what it
type
boils
of
down to.
crash out that he
But
had.
that's what it boils
no,
down to.
He did. On first take,
Well,
17 minutes uninterrupted.
LeBron-
His own show, 1 hour. Guess what? He opened up another segment with Kendrick Perkins. They talked for another 10 minutes about
Yeah.
it. He's been on all day. He literally is
he
doing
had
the
been
Taylor
on- he had
Swift
been on the
tour.
Taylor
He said
Swift
they
tour.
don't
That
like
was
them.
funny.
They don't like each other.
He's on the
because-
Taylor Swift
Look,
tour right now.
LeBron is a
LeBron,
dramatic
don't
dude.
say,
Like
dude,
you
Chris
act like
Paul-
this
Chris-
dude doesn't.
What's LeBron's manager? He was on Pat
Chris,
McAfee to
Rich
set
Paul.
this up. Rich Paul was on
Rich
there
Paul.
right before to get LeBron
And
to
they
set
talked
this
about
LeBron
Stephen A.
up.
for 4 minutes. An
but he was
hour
like-
interview.
the
It's an
thing
hour
is,
and
they
5 minutes
clearly
to be
don't-
exact. It was a great interview.
It was more than 4 minutes.
This man's
'cause
talked
it was-
about
it was
him
more than
all
four-
day.
It was more than 4 minutes because it was in the beginning and at the end.
Drew, I watched it twice.
I watched it twice too. And Stephen A. got mentioned twice in that interview.
His point was that this dude. He said there was cameras in the
no,
back.
I don't think I sent
This
it to
dude
y'all.
walked up on him, surprised the mess out of him. He said instead of being the man, he tried to embarrass him in front of everybody. LeBron did that to Stephen A.
You called me out as a father on national TV.
The whole thing is
You
that
want to know where there's more people at?
his whole point
There's
was
more
that-
people on national TV than in the Staples Center.
So let me ask you a question. So you,
Yeah, I'ma go in front of- I'ma go in front of the world.
No. If you a real man, if you got an issue with another real man, you gonna put that man into the side in the back room and be like,
That's
bro,
convenient when everyone.
That's great.
That's real
Hey
convenient.
Drew,
though. I ain't
Drew.
gonna
If
lie.
I'm
Even
a
if
real,
they do it on
if
TV,
I'm
I'ma
a real
come shoot
man,
out.
if I'm a real man,
It's on site.
I'm not going.
It's
But
on
it
site.
wasn't on site.
Hey,
It wasn't
Drew.
It was on
Hey,
site. It was
Drew.
the
No, it
third
wasn't.
quarter of the
No,
game.
hey, Drew.
You saw him. I saw
it was
you.
in,
We got
it
problems.
was in
Drew.
his timeout. He saw him on the court
Drew.
doing pregame.
Drew.
He waited till
Drew.
the game started.
100%. Because you called me out on national TV in front of millions
So
of people.
tit for tat?
If I'm a
That's-
real,
that shows weakness to me.
if I'm a real man, no, it's not. It's
is.
you.
It
You
is,
hit
bro.
me in the eye, I'm gonna hit you back.
But you gonna wait till everybody
Drew,
in front of me to hit me
Drew,
in the eye.
if
No,
we-
you
Drew.
gonna show up with this black
Yeah,
eye.
yeah.
You gonna
Hold
show
me
up with this
back.
black eye.
Hold me back.
Yeah. Here's the thing. if it's 187 people in here right now, and I said, Drew, you're not doing your job as a father, we fighting. If
Not
it,
on camera.
187
Not on
people
camera.
Not
in
on
here,
camera.
but
Not on
Drew,
camera.
but Drew,
It's gonna be like, boop.
He didn't say when.
Now
they
we
were
going
no,
there.
no, you're not doing. His whole point is literally you're setting your son up to fail.
Yes. What was wrong with that?
It's not true.
It's not true.
He's
It's his perspective.
It's not true.
It's his
his whole
perspective.
point was that
It's his
you trying
perspective.
to sell
His
a
son
bag of
is being
beans
successful.
in the G League. The whole point was my son is better than NBA players. I'm gonna play with my son.
That's you holding
He
on to
fo-
that.
I'm not. I
That's
don't
what he
care.
said. That's what LeBron said. LeBron
This is
said.
the whole point, and
LeBron
this is why that's the argument.
LeBron said, "My son in high school is better than half the NBA." Now he got his shot to be half in the NBA,
And he not better.
and he did not. No, he got better. But this,
No, I say he's not better. He's not. I agree with you on that.
Stephen A. said this like at the first week of the season, and when he was getting in more and more games. When he was early in the season, he was playing more. He wasn't ready. Stephen A. said
wasn't playing.
Yes, he was. If you look at the first week of the season,
Bro,
if you look at the first week of the season, Bronny played a lot more than he's played towards the middle and the end. So Stephen A. said this in the beginning of the season, like you're doing him a disservice. You made your staple game one. Now send him down and develop. He said this early on because I remember the episode clearly. Because
it wasn't early on.
It was early on.
This was
early on.
This
bro.
is all started 3 weeks ago.
No, it wasn't.
No, this
no,
is
it wasn't.
beginning of the year.
No, it wasn't.
This was not beginning of the year.
Yes, it was.
He did start.
It was the beginning of the
It was literally the first week of the season.
When he called him out.
Literally first week of the season.
When he called him out, saying, "LeBron, stop this, bro."
Yeah, that's
as
after,
a father.
as he started.
But
Right.
that was after. That was the
That's
original.
like a month and a half
No,
ago.
the original conversation Stephen A. Smith had online. He said that the first week of the season.
That's great. He said it on First Take a month and a half ago.
But
That
the
was
whole
he,
point is,
that was the second or third time he actually
It
mentioned
don't matter when you said it. You went out in front of millions of people.
But you waited all the way months later
But
because
the
he
whole
originally
point is
said
that-
this a month ago, back in October.
you're trying to sell that because he's doing good in the G League, that LeBron is
He's the 55th pick. It's where he's supposed to be.
the whole thing was that he
By the way, beginning of the season, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, no minutes, 5 minutes, 1
wasn't
minute,
ready.
2 minutes,
Right.
3 minutes,
So he
2
wasn't-
minutes, 1 minute, two,
he wasn't
4.
exactly.
So it's like
so
my
he wasn't
point
ready.
is, my point was he was in there. And
No,
he wasn't
you
doing,
said
he
at the
wasn't-
you said at the beginning of the season he was playing more minutes.
No, I said playing more. Like, man, he was in back-to-back games. He was playing
Before he
more.
got sent
He
down
wasn't
to
in the
the
G
league.
League as much in the beginning of the season as he is now. So that means he was playing more minutes in the beginning.
He was playing 3 minutes.
But more minutes. If he played 3 minutes each game compared to 3 minutes every other game, is that not more minutes? Because that's good. That's addition.
he's playing-
So
he's
if you play
playing-
3 games back to back,
Drew.
that's 9 minutes.
Drew,
If you play
what,
one game,
what minutes of the game is he playing?
dude, doesn't matter. We talking about minutes. Minutes are minutes.
Yes.
If he can't score against the
3 minutes at the end of the game
and
is
he
minutes.
playing against
It's
other
not-
NBA players that still scrubs and you can't play and beat them, then you know you ain't ready to play against your tier 1 and 2 talents.
So in 5 minutes versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had 2, 2, 1, and a block. 2 points, 2 steals, an assist, and a block.
What is your perception of G League?
Like
players?
I don't.
No,
Here's
not-
a real question. What is your perception of G League players? Because I think
that
we
they
have,
can't play basketball.
because like
basically.
Bones Highland is on a 2-way contract.
No.
Bones Highland is a dog.
My point is,
Now we
G
defend the G
League
League.
players are NBA caliber European type players. They are
European?
almost. Yep,
some players-
the Europe League.
It's mostly brothers down in the G League, dog. The
I know,
Euro
no.
players up here cooking us.
No, I'm talking about a lot
right,
of the college players are playing over.
A lot of
Europe.
college are, yeah.
Right, so they are good players. They are way better than any of us, but they are not NBA ready.
Agreed.
So that's my perception.
And
of
Bronny's
G League.
killing
No.
them.
Let me ask you this. Here's the issue I have with that. Because some of them are not NBA ready, which is why they're there. Some of them can't crack the rotation on their team because their team is already set. It's a political thing.
Right.
Some rosters, hey, guess what? Players opt to go to the G League so they can actually get
That's what
reps and
Terry
stuff
did.
like that. That's what Dalen Terry did.
Yeah.
He's not going to get
We
reps.
get that.
So all I'm saying is this. There are some players that he's hooping against that will actually start on other teams that he's actually killing.
That's okay.
So he's showing that he
really
has
not the
NBA
argument,
talent
kid.
and stuff like that. I'm
No,
saying it's
but
like it's part of the development there. It seems as if everyone's like, oh, but he's in the G League stuff like
No.
yeah,
Did
he's in the G
did he
League.
have that game 1?
My
Game
position,
1.
Game 1 of what?
Game 1 of the NBA season.
He played
Is
3 minutes.
Did Bronny grow his skill set over the course of the NBA season? Yes or no?
Yes.
So therefore, when Stephen A. said this in game 1, 2, and 3, when he was shooting 27%, LeBron,
ready.
send your son down to the G League so he can get this development. That was my whole point, and it's true.
Well,
Versus
in
selling,
game 1, 2, and 3, he shot 55%.
the whole thing is that
I'm
you're
looking at
selling the hope. The whole thing is
How dare I bring actual numbers into this argument?
Okay,
the
all right,
point.
okay. So
ain't the point.
it's
No,
the
because
first month,
we're
the first
having
month.
made
Okay,
up
go to the
arguments
first month.
about a kid who's actually doing what he's supposed to do.
No,
We're not talking about the kid.
we're talking about the
the
father
dad.
setting up setting him up to a point. He wasn't ready.
So
That
let me
was
ask
the
you a
issue.
question: nepotism or not? I'm the CEO of my company.
You already know.
My
how I feel about
son,
nepotism.
my son is finished school. I'm about to make him CFO. He ain't ready
That's
for
not
that.
what happened.
But that ain't
I
what
mean,
happened.
That's not what happened. That's a bad example.
But I put
If
him-
LeBron said he has to be the starting point guard of the
up.
Los Angeles Lakers, we'd have a
We
point.
having a different
Hey,
argument.
But we ain't
LeBron
having that.
James,
He's the last man on the bench.
In your
he said-
scenario,
but he said he
LeBron
ready.
said, "Hey, come work in my company. You the janitor."
No,
He
no,
said
no.
he was
but
better than a
he
bunch
said he
of
was
NBA
better. He said he
players.
was better than half the NBA.
If you
that
want,
mean
if
you
you
if
want
you better
me,
than half the NBA, that mean you
draft
can
my
start.
son.
That mean
That's
you can
great.
start.
Do all these things.
Does that not
If
mean
you
that
want me,
manufactured
draft
his
my
son
son
there.
because I want to play with my son.
No. If I say my son is better than half the people in the NBA, does that mean he can start? It's 32 teams, and it's what's that time? 5 players, so that's 50.
No,
so that's
15.
160
No,
players.
yeah.
That's
No, it
160
doesn't mean
starters.
that.
That's a
It
lot.
doesn't mean that.
Come on now.
No,
That
no,
doesn't
no.
mean-
How
if I-
many
if I
teams?
say
How many people on the roster?
15.
15.
How many people start?
5.
So he said that he's comparable to the people on the bench. I'm not trying to hear that.
Look.
He didn't say he was better than all the starters in the league. He said half the players in the league. Tell me the truth. Are there some people in the league that you be like, I don't know how he got here? Yes, we talk about it every week. We talk about it every week. Guess what? I still don't know why Dalen Terry's in the league.
Then Terry been hooping league that.
Yeah, no. How long it take him?
Took him 3 years.
but
Took him
listen,
3 years.
We're going all
Guess what?
around.
I'm saying Bronny can compete with him
No,
today.
because y'all argument is that Bron hyped his son up.
No, that's not my argument.
That's exactly
That's
what
not-
Joel
no.
is saying.
My argument,
Joel
of
is
this
saying Bron
argument,
hyped his son
this is
up.
this is the whole thing of him trying to manufacture to get his son into the league.
That's great.
So that was the whole point.
That's great.
The whole point was, are you setting him up possibly for failure because he may not be ready? Was the whole thing. And as a father, you don't want to set him up. That's the argument. I don't need to go here yelling about G League and stats and all this type of stuff.
Steve,
That
ain't
was
nobody
the
moving
point.
the goalpost.
Huh?
I'm talking to Steve. Ain't nobody moving the goalpost. Shut that up.
I'm just
They don't
saying.
move goalposts.
And so then when you compare
I'm
it to your
getting
son,
hot now.
if you have your own company and you put your son in there, the whole point is that if you are diligent and understand your kid and see what he's good at or what his strengths are, you do want your kid to succeed. Okay, like I've lived through this. My father got me into IBM. Unfortunately, he couldn't get my brothers to a point because it was like that may not
Y'all
be
the
their
Ball brothers.
Huh?
Y'all the Ball brothers.
But no,
y'all
they
all
didn't
successful
get,
in different
They
ways.
didn't get into IBM though because it didn't work for them. He couldn't, and he wasn't gonna just throw them in there to a point if they weren't ready.
Right.
So that was the thing. Like, yes, I did get in it to a point. I still had to grow, and I did excel over time. But I'm just saying that he's not gonna hype it up to a point where my son's coming in here and I'm forcing all these things to happen. But that was the issue. On the big stage for your son, and everybody, all the eyes are going to be on because you are LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
You are the ambassador of the league. So everybody's going to be watching him. So you're going to put this immense amount of pressure on him. So don't be mad if he gets scrutinized.
Here's my problem. Why are we scrutinizing 5 minutes? That's my problem with it.
No, this is.
Why are we scrutinizing?
I'm not scrutinizing. I'm just talking about the Stephen A. to LeBron argument. That's what I care. I don't care about Bronny doing whatever he's
But
doing.
why are we scrutinizing 5 minutes?
I'm just
So I got
trying to hear what
ADHD
other NBA
over here.
What other NBA players?
Why are
think
we
about it.
scrutinizing 5 minutes? Literally by month, Bronny James, 4 minutes, 2
because
minutes,
it's
2 minutes,
creating-
5
it's
minutes,
creating
5 minutes.
conversation.
Because it's a narrative.
He's now
it's the
getting-
narrative. It's the narrative.
That's great, but
No, you can't just say it's great.
no,
You
I'm
can't-
saying that's the narrative. Why is it a narrative?
because of what LeBron
It's-
said in
it's
the beginning.
something to talk
it was a
about.
narrative because of LeBron says things in the middle. I'm not in the middle, in the beginning, and then now those things are being scrutinized. That's it.
Yeah, they made a comment about his son and said, "Look, you don't necessarily want to set your kid up for failure." Was the whole point, but he getting in his feelings, and now they're going back and forth.
Bro,
See, I
So
don't.
let me ask you
Brian-
this: was DeMar DeRozan like capping when he stood with LeBron on that tape? Because he was asked that on Podcast P, which I was like, I wonder who asked this. DeMar was asked that on Podcast P, and he was like, to be honest, yeah, because there is a lot of
most of the
sorry
league don't
in
care.
this league.
Yeah.
So was DeMar DeRozan capping?
yes.
It's a lot of other NBA players who actually vouched for Bronny,
Who played with
who
Bronny?
played with
I think
Bronny.
it's
But he
different
also-
when
but it's
you
There's
also-
actually tape of Bronny cooking Taylor Horder Tucker.
Yeah,
like,
I think
Well,
that's not.
he should be a G League player.
Hold on a second. But it's also people that on Bronny's team, on the team that he was, Sierra, whatever it was, that private school team, it was 2 or 3 other dudes that was cooking Bronny on his own team before he went to USC. So he needed to develop, is my whole point. And Stephen A. said, bro, Stop parading him in front of the Lakers. Send him to the G League to grow.
But see, that's my
Let me
problem.
finish. Let me finish.
He
Let me
didn't
finish.
control
Let me
that,
finish.
though.
Let me finish. As Stephen A gets paid to commentate on things on the basketball floor. What we seen on the basketball floor showed that Bronny needed to develop. Send him. Only thing Stephen A said is send him down there, stop parading him and sitting him on the bench, put him in the G League 100% of the time.
No, here's my thing. That's my problem with it.
And that's fine.
He's cooking in the G League, and he's playing at the NBA level. He's literally the best player taken in the second round outside of maybe Kyle Filipowski because he stays on the team, but he's terrible. Where's the beef with him sitting on the bench?
Because he didn't come to the league to sit on the bench.
Crimson said we talked more about this than football.
Yeah, I got to address this too. Y'all know this not a football podcast, right? We talk a lot about the Bears because the Bears are the thing that is more important.
That's true.
We love it.
This is not a football podcast. This is a sports talk podcast.
It's just that everybody.
If you done listening for the football part,
click
off. Have a great day.
Hey. We need these people.
I love the
like-
people, but
we
like
like
it kills me when mugs say that oh, it's a football show.
I need to break Joe Luminopolis. Let's go.
Steve-O said, answer this. Did Doc say anything about Austin? Yes. Doc hyped Austin up.
I don't
Austin
remember
was
that.
cold.
Doc hyped Austin
Austin
up.
also had one of the best
Austin Rivers
mixtapes.
was also
Bro.
amazing.
Hey, Austin's
He played in
mixtape.
Vaseline.
Hey,
Nobody
no.
was listening to
Austin's
Doc.
high school
Dyke-
mixtape was cold.
Hyped
Nobody was
Austin
listening to Doc
up.
Rivers.
Some of the
No, I
best
said he
No,
was amazing.
Austin in high school is one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen.
I thought you were talking
Bro.
about.
No, at the NBA level, he got cooked.
Oh, okay.
At the NBA level, he was. I shouldn't say he got cooked. At the NBA level, he was a role player.
He was
a role player.
Solid role player.
He was a solid role player, but he was a role player.
At his height, he averaged like 17 points a game.
Rabble rouser.
He was a role player. But when Austin was in high school,
He was cooking.
Who said that?
Hold on.
Steve-O said
Hold
that?
on.
That's a
You want to know
horrible
who
take.
else hyped up?
That's a horrible take.
Hold on. You want to know who else hyped up
KG.
Austin Rivers? KG.
What are we talking about?
Come on. Like, what are we talking about? Ray Allen hyped up Austin Rivers. Rondo hyped up Austin Rivers. Half the league was looking at that young man going, hey, he about to kill some of y'all.
By his tape, I
None of
thought
that-
he
was
was.
cooking. He was
By
cooking.
his tape, I thought he was.
He went to the Celtics facility and was effing up KG for like 3-4 plays. And KG was like, hold on, I need to lace my sneakers up.
Right.
And tied them joints up. And then all of a sudden he was like, and then he cooked him. Then it was like, all right, I'm bigger than you, young fella.
We can end this, but I want to ask a question before we end it to the
Let's do
panel. Do you think, besides the scrutiny with Bronny, do you think it was elevated because of the dislike between those two individuals?
100%. It's gotten personal for sure. It's gotten away. Here's my beef with it. You can't argue about this young man on the basketball part because he's actually hooping. And as the season has gotten on, he's gotten better at basketball. He cooked a fully stocked Milwaukee Bucks team the other day.
Yeah. But I think that.
But let me finish answering the question. But I do think that it has gotten personal to the point where, because like y'all can sit here and tell me this, but I know y'all. If I say you're doing the wrong thing as a father for your children, you're gonna have a problem with it. And if you do it you're gonna have a problem with it with the few people that's here.
You're right.
If you do it in front of a million, what is 6.7 million people every day or
You're
whatever
right.
it is?
It's two things you can't talk about. You can't talk about somebody's kids, and you can't talk about anybody's kids, politics, or religion.
There you go. You call me out about my kids in front of it, and I walk up to you at a Lakers game and say, "Hey, bro, you got to relax on that."
My thing is,
Talk about me being a bad father, but we're mad at
think
LeBron.
that's-
We're mad at LeBron for having a regular human emotion.
no, I have
It's
a problem
not-
with it happening staged on TV.
Right. I think it's
take
the
that in the back room, bro.
But
'Cause if I-
Steven
if I
ain't
say-
one put it on TV.
No.
No,
it's more-
that's because he's paid to do on TV. LeBron's paid to hoop,
Don't make it right.
LeBron's paid to hoop.
LeBron did
LeBron
it
is
at the
paid
spot
to-
that he hoops at.
but he did it.
He got paid. Dude.
He got paid that day. He
got
made a
paid
lot
to
of
be
money
there.
that day.
Okay, I'm
Hey,
credit
it was
there.
literally in a timeout. They was done with a timeout, and he was like, "Hey, my
No,
boy,
he left the
we got
timeout
some
early.
out."
The
He
whole
left the
point is
timeout
that-
early.
He did.
He left the timeout early.
served.
He drew the play.
Listen, he got his son in there. He served him up on a plate. He has to deal with his own whatever scrutiny, whatever the commentary that comes with it. So he's not unscathed from that. So Stephen A. has every right to talk and point out whatever the flaws that he has on LeBron, on what you call it.
I'm not saying he
so
don't.
if he sit there and say, look, because I'm calling you out, LeBron, because you hyped him up to a certain point that if I'm calling you out as a father, I wouldn't do that because you're making it harder for Bronny.
That's great.
And so now it turns into this whole personal thing because he sat there and said, now it turned into he's mad because I won't consider him to be one of the greatest of all time. Hey, I think he does have talent. I do think that LeBron's one of the greatest players. But it's like you get mad because then he started going tit for tat with Michael Jordan versus LeBron. He's literally said
no. That crash out, that's the weak part.
I saw it, but the whole point was
that's weak. What we saw today was weak.
But he said, Stephen A. said, the dude threw me out there about my video from 10 years ago.
Right,
about
the
me
punching
boxing.
video. The
like,
punching
what if I
video.
haven't, like,
Bro,
now
they
started going low blows for
They
each other.
both
Yeah,
are
that
throwing
was fun.
blows
So, like,
and doing it for the
it's-
gram.
Do you know
Hey,
why
hey,
he said that,
They both
though?
doing it for the gram.
Do you know why he said that, though?
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this: as somebody who's on the platform, and somebody who even on Stephen A.'s platform, you go low, I go to hell.
Well, there you go. So
Hey, you
Why
want to
did
go
LeBron
low?
tweet
Or
it
we
out?
go lower?
Why did LeBron tweet it out?
Because of the whole slap I would have stole on him.
You ain't. It's LeBron.
I don't care. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back.
No, they did cut that out of context. They like in the full interview. I forget how he said it, but it wasn't.
I think he said I would have got my butt beat.
He said I would have got my butt beat, but I would have swung.
Yeah.
Which is
Because you ain't gonna swing on me, and I'm not going. I'm gonna take it. Be like, ooh, thank you, LeBron. You've touched my face in a way.
LeBron
other
swings
men
on me, I'm
touched.
falling out.
wait a minute.
I'm falling out. LeBron swing on me. My back hurt.
Nah,
my
Steve-
face. Hey, listen, no,
Stephen A.
lawsuit.
Stephen A. can go band for band. You know what I mean?
Stephen A. can't go
Hey,
down with
hey,
that.
that man has got 100 M's for talking.
He got
He got
Stephen A. go band for
some
band.
M's for
Nobody
talking.
fighting
bro.
nobody.
Hey, Stephen A. got a 5-year, $100 million contract.
Hey,
LeBron got $100 million coming this year.
I know, but that's 100 M's for talking.
No. Stephen A. go band for band with the production company. There's a lot of shows under Stephen A.'s doing.
Yeah, so
He getting that money.
He catches some
getting
sad
that TV money.
bags.
is
He
true.
catches some
That
sad
is true.
bags.
But hey, man, we just having fun, man. We appreciate y'all
Talking.
for tuning in and
Oh, I
showing
didn't- I
love.
didn't-
Hit that. Oh, shut up.
Wait, no, I'm just saying all the arguing y'all been doing. I really kind of been laying low because I didn't really want to talk about this, but y'all want my opinion on something? Sure.
Not really.
All right. Did you all know that the ribeye is the 4th best cut of steak on this list of best cuts of steak?
What's the
What's
3,
1, 2,
2,
and 3?
1?
Yeah.
You got a steak called the picanha from Argentina.
The what
Brazil.
now?
The picanha from Brazil.
We need to take a trip to Brazil.
It's a rump cut.
Yes.
Oh, I do love a good rump.
And then you got the prime
Whoa,
rib.
put the music on you. The big
First
rump-
is
rump
filet
now.
mignon. I just want to close out the
The
show.
Bulls are up 24-15 on the Lakers.
I
by
told
the way.
y'all they was gonna kill them.
LeBron must
Talking
not
about
be
some
playing.
revenge game for the man. Get out of here.
Is Bronny playing?
Hey, man, appreciate it.
No, we don't get it.
No, he ain't playing.
Hey, it might be.
Let him
Go G League.
He ain't playing. He ain't playing.
There you go, Kid Cook. Yeah,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Cook. Yeah, let him cook. Yeah, right.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I love that we can just have these debates, bro. For the super producer Joel Holt, the pettiest man alive is the Peaky.
Oh God.
Mr. Medium Self, Jordan JC, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better.
Say who better?
Oh, nobody, bro. It's your boy Panther Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
It's
Ronnie playing.
He gonna get 30 minutes in today's game.
Oh, my
All
God.
that, they go clown him. Okay, that's funny.
You got to end broadcast, bro.
You got it. You letting it ride. You got to let it ride for a little bit, man. It's like the end of a track when you just talking trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta let it happen.
Nah, but for real,
Detroit, what? Detroit, what? That was Eminem
Hey,
thing.
that's why I can't wear no D hat, bro. That's just
Hey,
it'd
yo.
be ugly.